Good evening, everyone. All 28 here. I wasn't expecting high numbers on this show tonight, not after what we just watched this afternoon. So, thank you to those that have joined us. Oh, we've got Danny. We'll throw Danny in as well while we're here. Hello, Danny. Long time.
Hey, fellas. How you doing?
I'm not too bad, mate. You all right? How are you?
Doing well. You know, all things considered, after that shit performance today.
Yeah, no, it was awful. It was awful. Oh, look, we're up to 51. A lot of sound
what's
surprised.
happened to John? Where's his video gone?
I'm not coming on. I'm not coming on. Everyone's used to me being upbeat, and I'm fucking depressed. Oh, sorry, I'm very depressed.
He just wants us all to look at Dawson.
I'm not letting. Yes, and that's who we're missing. Bit of bloody leadership. Don't worry. Yeah, no.
Yeah. No, I know. Well, look, like I say, we all watched that game. I think a lot of us forecasted that we would struggle, or just purely based on the fact that they are a bit of a hoodoo team, and we always struggle against them. I don't think many of us would have predicted that we would have been quite as abject as we were, because it weren't bad luck. They just beat us.
Yeah.
We were outclassed.
They just beat us. Yeah.
By the way, I don't think they're a hoodoo team. I just think Potter has got Moyes' number.
He's got Moyes' number. It was yeah. Like I say, I said to you guys yesterday, I'd almost conditioned myself for defeat today. Yeah, it hasn't really made me feel any better. Yeah, it was poor, wasn't it? I mean, Gary, you went over there.
Well, it was diabolical. Yeah, I mean, it was just terrible. I mean, we should work through the game, add a bit of structure to it, and sort of decide, discuss the big points, because there were lots of them. But yeah, I mean, all in all, it was abject, and probably the biggest disappointment again. And I said this last week before the Forest game, when the team came out for Forest. That was my biggest disappointment, seeing 4-2-3-1 and almost the same players.
Yeah, no.
We got the same again today. I mean, how long is he going to be flogging this dead horse?
Well, I had this exact. I had a tantrum last weekend after the Forest game based on exactly this. So there's no point me going over it again, because I said it all last week, and the same thing played out again. So it's so fucking mind-numbingly. It's so frustrating that, like I say, we will get into it, but he just literally just shuffles the pieces. It isn't always I think what it is, David Moyes doesn't think that his plan is wrong. So he must think that he sets his team out, and if it isn't working, it's the personnel that's wrong. They're not doing their job. So he brings new players on to replace ones that are on the pitch doing the same fucking jobs, and expects a different result. And he just refuses to make a tactical shift. And I don't understand it. It is driving me mad. It's been sussed out. It's been long sussed out. We're going to go into it, but there's players in that team. Like I say, it does look a little bit now to me. It looks a little bit like that spark has gone, like the dressing room's gone. Even players, I mean, we're going to talk about the players, but even players that they've carried us for the last year because they've been so consistent. Bowen, Rice, players like that have been so reliable for a year. Even those players are struggling at the moment. There is a problem. There is a problem. It isn't just a coincidence. There is something wrong. Everyone looked shit today.
Yeah. Apart from two who I thought did all right. Antonio did all right. Benrahma did all right. Other than that, just rubbish. What do you think, John?
I'm with you in terms of formations need changing and tactics need changing. I totally agree with you. But from a fan's perspective, which we all are, and I was there as well today, what I cannot accept, in my opinion, is a lack of effort. And to me, you can say all you like about Moyes' formation, which I agree with you wholeheartedly. He needs to change things. He needs to shake things up, right? And yes, okay, the players might think, I'm not playing in this position again, blah, blah, blah. But you're getting paid a lot of money, right? Yeah. You're not there. You're there to show a bit of commitment, show a bit of fight, show a bit of effort. And for me today, even the top players, the players that we expect, for whatever the reason, there was just a lack of effort and desire for me today. And the problem is with it is that as soon as we go a goal behind, we don't know how to force the game. We don't know how to take the game to the opposition. And that's when I think, look, I'm not his. It sounds like I'm Antonio's number one fan, but the geezer needs a bit of help. He did okay today with the service he had from the midfield, right?
Yep.
Throw Scamacca up front with him. let's try something different. It's just it's
Well, likewise, John. When Scamacca came on, Scamacca needs help. You're playing up against three big
I
centre backs.
agree.
How
Yes.
many fucking touches did Scamacca have when he came on? He was up front, isolated.
Well, look, he does.
it's-
You know, he doesn't change the shape to suit Scamacca
No.
at all, right? I mean,
No.
he just asked him to do Antonio's job, and I don't know if you noticed with the set pieces towards the end of the game, the corners, Scamacca was told to go to the near post, and they were aiming for Soucek.
I know. But the thing is, what I will say is, I don't know. I kind of disagree in the sense that I think the performance was awful. I don't think it's down to a lack of effort. I don't think there was a single
come
player
on,
on that.
yeah.
No, John, I don't think there was a
No.
single player on that
No.
pitch that weren't running. Well, give me an example of a
totally
player that weren't
disagree with
running.
you.
What I'm saying is,
disagree
give me an
Okay,
example.
As highly paid Premier League professionals, we couldn't even string 2 passes together today.
Yeah, but
There's no excuse for that.
but John,
Yeah,
when,
I know
yeah,
Moyes is wrong with his formation and tactics.
Yeah.
I get that.
but John, what I'm saying is, where did we lose the battle today? Where did we lose it?
Central midfield.
Central midfield. Why did we lose it in central midfield? Because you got Declan Rice in the middle on his fucking own, and you got Soucek who's been given license to go and roam about and far-ass about, trying to get his. No, hang on, Gary. You got. No, wait a minute. You got Soucek who's been given license to fucking far-ass about up front, and then you got Rice and Fornals up against God knows how many players. Everyone's getting overrun. If you lose the midfield, you lose the game. We're fucking trying to accommodate that bloke. It don't work.
We look, listen. We all know. Sorry, Danny. What
Sorry,
what do you
Danny.
think about it? Go on.
Guys, this is unfortunately just going to be a little bit of an echo chamber. I feel your sentiment. Like I share it with you. It sucks that pretty much all over the park we were shit. Like
Yeah.
Gary said it. Like I thought Benrahma put in a good shift.
He did.
I think he could have done more had he maybe played the full 90 as a 10 as opposed to on the wing again. But he was all right there. Really tough mistake from Kara in his Premier League debut. It wasn't a reckless challenge, but it was still we'll call it an irresponsible challenge that really was not too far off from just being a free kick. Really, we're just outside the box.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think we was lucky because if it had been a free kick, he could have walked. It would have been a red card. So
No,
the
they
fact
don't
that
do.
it was.
They don't
He
do
was.
double
I
jeopardy.
mean, I don't know if he was the last.
No.
pick or somebody
I know
else.
they don't do double jeopardy, but if that foul had been outside the box, it would have been a red card.
Right. Well,
It was for a goal.
yeah. Look, let's not forget. Blame is equally shared with Zuma, who
I'm
did
not.
the
I'm not.
most
I'm not blaming the
Zuma
defender.
did the
I'm not
most
blaming the defender.
ridiculous thing, right? And the thing I'm not seeing in that team right now, and John touched on this earlier, is leadership. There is zero leadership in that team,
No.
and I
They
mean
looked lost out there.
And I mean Rice as well. Rice was playing with his head down. He was sulking and being petulant when people weren't opening up for him, like he was last week at Forest, And so I know he's given a thankless task by the manager. I know he's told to sit back and guard the defence while the wonderful Soucek roams forward and plays a 1-2 with Soufal and charges into the box.
How many times do we say
achieving
that
nothing.
Soufal? Well, how many
Right.
times do we say that fucking 1-2 that leads to nothing?
Well,
the
there was
same
about,
thing
about
over and over
times, About 4 times, yeah. A pointless exercise in futility. It comes to nothing every time. We were playing long balls throughout the first half. Deck was getting it in the middle and just putting one. At one point, he put one out wide. It came back to him. He put one out left. And it was just passed inside. The crossing is abysmal. They can't not find the keeper. They are. It's bloody awful. And and going back to your point about players who are not putting in the effort, I think Zuma is
I really
right off
hope.
his
Is
game.
this true? Epic's just put this up. Moyes said he thought we played
Well,
well.
I just
no,
read that.
Is he
Yeah.
having a
what
fucking
what he
laugh?
said was, I'm going to qualify this. What he said was, I thought we did okay in the first 20 minutes, and I'll agree with that. And then it wasn't acceptable after that. First 20 minutes was all right.
We
After
didn't have a
that,
single
all
shot on
rubbish.
goal in the first half. Not a shot on target.
Listen, but
we're at home.
First 20 minutes until we went down. The minute we went down, the hedge drops. And something that Moyes said after the game as well, which I hated, right, was he said that when we went, you don't want to go 1-0 down against a team like Brighton because of their possession game. In other words, he's kind of saying, read between the lines, that we'd lost the game as soon as we went 1-0 down.
Yeah.
The players clearly believed that as soon as we went 1-0 down. When we went 2-0 down in the second half, heads just dropped completely. There's another couple of things that David Moyes had to say. I'm paraphrasing here, right? But he was asked about Flynn Downs, and he said, bear in mind how shit Soucek is at the moment. He said, the things I've seen of him, he needs to do better. We'll get him some game time when we can. All the players have to earn it. That's Moyes on Downs, right? Another one, he's told his summer signings that unless they adapt to the Premier League quickly, they're at risk of having to wait for their chance.
Can I ask you something, right? What is Moyes scared of? Because what he's doing at the moment, playing the same he looks like an idiot now. Because we're losing at the moment. We're losing games at the minute. Now, by not trying, let me give you an example, right? With Moyes' mentality, in 15-16, we wouldn't have seen Dimitri fucking Payet until January.
He's clearly
we wouldn't have seen him until January.
He's clearly got his favourites, and he doesn't want to upset the apple cart, right?
But to a fault, like he's.
Well, listen, right? You know, Danny, look what happened. Look what happened today, right? We turned up at that game. We all guessed what the formation would be, same as last week plus Kera, right? We all guessed what it would be. Mm-hmm. We all guessed it would be 4-2-3-1. You know, the Potter's known all week how Moyes is going to line up. He knows exactly how to play this team, and you know, rolling forward to the second half and cover the rest of it in a minute. But the second goal came about because Moyes made a substitution. Potter reacted immediately and made a tactical switch.
He was waiting for it. He was waiting for
1
the
minute
he
later.
Knew was coming.
They scored 1 minute later. That is the difference between Moyes and Potter. That's a switched-on manager versus someone who just believes doing the same thing. You know, if only the players would pull it together in this formation that clearly works. You know, that seems to be his attitude, right?
Yeah, John, do you want to run through the comments before we
yes, mate.
Crack on with the rest of it?
There's an awful lot, so I do apologise.
Go on, just click through.
People are pissed off.
People are angry. Look,
myself included.
No, but quite rightly so. Like I said to Nick and Gary in our WhatsApp group, I said, you know, I've seen West Ham lose before, but when you lose like that, just I don't know. I don't know where to go from there with the lack of effort. We have no desire, passion, and team ethic anymore. They play like it's a training session. Totally agree.
That looked like a training session for Brighton. Yeah. That looked like they were just running drills on us.
But how many times today when Fabianski had a goal kick in that, Zuma's standing 5 yards away from him, and it's almost like Zuma don't want the ball and Fabs don't want to give him the ball. And then they waste 3 to 5 seconds doing it. They give it to him. It goes round in a triangle and it ends up back in Fabianski's feet again. I don't know what they were getting at, to be honest with you. This is a comment that I agree with Garino. Sad to say, Cresswell looks done. I've been his biggest fan for a long time. I know we all have. But if we go through the rest of this window without signing anyone, then we can't play. We have to play 4 defenders because you're having to rely on Cresswell and Soucek to get up and down, and they can't. So if we don't get anyone else in, you can't expect them to do that job anymore.
Can I just say, right? The focus, what is annoying me at the moment, there is this focus on Cresswell. I know Cresswell needs replacing. But you know what? Cresswell he's no worse than Soucek on the other side. No fucking worse at all. But all we keep on hearing is Cresswell. But Soucek gets a pass. I'm sorry, we've got exactly what we paid for with Soucek. We've got a 5 million right back.
He looks rubbish at the moment. So
the problem is, Nick, when you put up that comment a minute ago about leadership, and I'm going to get to it because I said it last week. Zuma is the high-profile defender of our back 4 playing at the minute. He's the most high-profile player of our back 4, and the guy looks so vulnerable. He looks so inexperienced. He don't have no leadership qualities, which really surprises me.
Can you understand, right? When you got Zuma and you got Kera. Now, Kera is the natural ball carrier out of them two. That's what he does. Why was Zuma assuming ball carrying duties?
I don't know. And Kera played one beautiful ball, and I don't think all in all Kera did so bad, right? I thought he cut out quite a lot.
Listen, he walked into a shit show today.
Yeah, he cut out quite a lot. And what he was doing, even though he's 6'1" and he was up sometimes against players much taller, what he'd do is he'd go up for the header and he'd get a little flick on it to ruin the flight of the ball, right? And you know, he did little subtle things like that. Yeah. And so I don't think he did bad at all. But John's
go back to that one, John.
Right. Johnny's absolutely right. Going back to the point on leadership. Going back to the point on leadership, there is no leadership in that team, and I include Declan Rice in that. Declan Rice, to me, at the moment, is not acting like a captain. I'm wondering whether he's actually got the capability to be a captain. We all love Declan Rice, but Last year, he was deputy captain, right? Noble was in the dressing room sorting the players out. You know, Noble was on the bench. He had someone to fall back on. And this season, it's all on his shoulders. And his deputy is Cresswell, who's also not playing very well. And he doesn't seem to talk. And there's one prime example of what happened. You know, when Kera made that mistake, new guy, right? It's his full debut. He's made a mistake. He must have felt like crap, right? The players, Zuma, Antonio, one or two others gathered around him. Declan Rice was just standing there with his head in his hands, like a few yards away. And you're thinking, no, go and tell him, head up. You know, let's carry on. We go again. You know, nothing.
No,
is this the comment you're looking at, Nick? From
no, it was a one before from Mandy where she said, if we're not careful, Scamacca's going to be another hell error unless Moyes changes that system. Scamacca will end up being just that player, and do you know what? Yeah. His body language will reflect a fed up Heller as well when he has to spend 90 minutes looking like just not involved in the game. Yes. So if Moyes doesn't change, having said that, I don't think he's going to ever spend 90 minutes doing that because I don't think he's ever going to be a starting player. That's what it looks like to me. That's the way it feels because Moyes, you saw Moyes' pre-match. He even alluded to the fact that he loves Mickey, and I can understand him loving Mickey. But then he went, but you know, there's no guarantees that Scamacca is going to get straight in because even Bowen, it is Moyes' words. Even Bowen is resembling a number 9 now, and we know that he worked really well in that system last year. So he's even said that. So I don't think Scamacca is that high. I think he's an option off the bench.
Well,
the number one.
I'd hate to say that that's the truth, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
The first choice striker for Italy can't get into our team.
No.
What is wrong with his picture?
Yeah, exactly. He's doubling down when he's challenged on those decisions.
Yeah,
he is.
What's so frustrating? Like a good manager should be able to listen to the people around him that may have a different set of eyes on something and give him a different perspective. And he's got I think the theme of this whole show, honestly, today is something needs to fucking change.
It's got to change. It's got to change.
But you know, the baffling thing for me is he has strong characters in his backroom staff, doesn't he? I know Pierce has gone, but he's still got Nolan and that Pat Nevin guy, whatever his name is.
Warburton.
I mean, they must be saying something. They can't all be going, yeah, Dave, everything's hunky-dory, the formation working.
No, I can't imagine that they're just puppets and saying, oh, no, you're doing everything right, Dave. It's all execution.
I can't imagine that they are. I might be totally wrong, but I really
what I'm scared of is like exactly what Gary was talking about earlier on, and it's the same with Scamacca. If we don't score goals, there's going to be sections of the support in the end that are going to flip on Scamacca because he ain't scoring goals. We've got our talisman, who they are, in Bowen and Rice, who have carried us for a year. They have been regular 7 out of 10 to 10 out of 10 players. All of a sudden, their level drops for a few games, and we're all on them. Well, I'm sorry, you've got Declan Rice, who's 7 out of 10. They've just had a baby, by the way. He's a new dad. So as of this week,
but as Roy Keane would say, he didn't give birth, did he?
Yeah, no, but he's no. What I mean is but he's 7 out of 10 normally, and you've got someone like Soucek who's with him who he's been awful by comparison for a year. So you can't compare the two. You can't, and there is a problem there.
Massively.
There is a problem.
I think, as Lawrence says here, the midfield for me today was totally inept, and I've always agreed with you regarding Soucek, right? I know he's been out of form for a long time, but I called for Downs to start against Forest, and the guy sits in front of me today going, "Oh, you can't put Downs in. He's only used to Championship." And I'm like, "Well, if he's not going to get a go ever, if some of the fans are thinking that, you got to throw the kid in. You got to give someone else a go in centre midfield, or change the shape totally. Otherwise, we're just going to continue." Soucek had 2 headers towards the end of the game, but apart from that, he did nothing but amble around in midfield.
For absolutely nothing. One minute, Gary. 1 minute. Let's bring a few guests on because we've got Jake and we've got Irish Tommy. Tommy was on first, Jake. So I'm gonna bring him in and then I'll roll you on. Right, let's bring Tommy on. Hello, Tommy.
Evening, chaps. How are we?
I'm fantastic, mate. How are you?
Oh, very annoyed. Very annoyed.
I know.
There's a lot to say, but if I start ranting, we'll be here for a long time. So
that's fine. Fine. That's what the show's for. Go on, let us know. Let us know what your thoughts.
It's like fan therapy here.
Yeah, that's what this is. Tell
us your problems, Tommy. Tell us your problems.
I'll tell you what. I'll pick one. It's really getting on my nerves now that Moyes is so slow to introduce new signings. I think it's ridiculous. This notion he has that he has to slowly introduce them so they can bed in, as he calls it, to me is an absolute crock of shit.
Yep.
It's a 100%. Crock of shit.
Yep.
Scamacca is a fucking Italian international striker. We're not trying to teach him, you know.
I know.
I'm thinking he can play.
Yeah, he's the number one. He's the number one.
And Tommy, whenever he's played so far, he's looked fucking mustard. To be quite honest, he's looked good.
Yeah.
Whenever I've seen him.
Played Thursday night and scored. You know, we're not trying to teach him how to play rugby here. You know, it's football. He already knows.
It's insane. Like,
Tommy, my theory is that is a crock of shit. You're right. It's an excuse because what it is, David Moyes has his favourites in his team, and for whatever reason, he does not want to upset the apple cart with his existing players that he's got a relationship with, people like Soucek, people like Antonio, because he just doesn't want to upset them. I think that's what it is.
He's got, you know, an Italian international striker on the bench with a record of scoring goals, and still he wants to play his number 9, who doesn't score goals and didn't again today. I think he's got 4 goals in the last 32 games.
Yeah, 30, that's a lot.
It's a joke.
Yeah, Tom, I don't agree with. I agree with his record. Obviously, what you're saying there. But if Scamacca is told to play the same way Antonio
he can't do it. He can't do it.
Than Antonio.
I don't think in this system that we play at the moment, Tommy. We saw it when he came on. For the last half hour, Scamacca must have touched the ball twice.
That's what I'm saying. So it doesn't matter who's up front. They're going to struggle to get goals, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, because the system is wrong. The way that we play at the minute, it's very simple. And this is the trouble when you play with Soucek in the team, especially when you're using him for that attacking threat. You're locking yourself into a one-dimensional style, which is getting the ball out wide, angling balls into the box, waiting for the late run of Soucek. It's so fucking easy to mitigate. People know what we're doing now. It doesn't work anymore. Yeah. It doesn't work. That's what frustrates me. Go on, Tommy.
Agree. I think. I completely agree. I think, look, the fact is he's bought Scamacca, and so if he's going to bring him in, he's going to have to cater to him. It's as simple as that. Because ultimately football comes down to putting the ball in the net. Yeah. And we're going to have to make sure that Scamacca gets the opportunities to do that. So he is going to have to change whatever he needs to change. Yeah. But on the subject of Soucek, I for a while I've been flabbergasted that this guy still starts. I mean, his form is awful, and it has been for some time. Yeah. And my worry, actually, and this kind of came to me today, my worry is that David Moyes is actually the only person who doesn't know that Soucek is playing like shit. I suspect Moyes doesn't even know.
I do know one more.
I suspect Moyes thinks Soucek's playing all right. And that's
Soucek was getting quite a few pelters over there today from various people, and I did Soucek watch. I specifically watched him for 20 minutes. Right,
that must have been great.
I'll tell you what. He's all he did in 20 minutes. This was in the first half. Later in the first half, right? I went on Soucek watch, and all he did was kind of jog around quite gently. Didn't close anyone down in central midfield. He covers a lot of ground, but not very quickly, right?
No.
And then occasionally he'll jump forward. He'll play the 1-2 out to Soucek, and then he will dive into the box, right? Yeah. And then he'll amble back to central midfield again, all the time, leaving Declan Rice to shield the back four by himself, leading Fornals, who's supposed to be the number 10, the creative player, leaving him to do the defensive work as well. So it's basically, we are forfeiting all of our attacking threat and prowess for giving Soucek that role.
Yeah, I know. Well, did you see how one thing we did do when we first started? We had that quick break, didn't we? It was where Fornals slipped that ball through to Bowen out on the right, didn't he? Straight away. Quick pass, bang, straight through. That's what you want from your number 10. And that's why Fornals should be the number 10. And Soucek, well, I don't even think he should be in midfield at the moment. But if you stick someone like Soucek there, you lose that. The idea of the number 10 is to knit midfield to attack, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean...
exactly.
That's the idea.
That's why I think Downs should start alongside Rice against Villa.
Yeah.
Listen, Downs is a really good player. He's fucking tenacious, and he gets around and he puts himself about. And I think that's exactly what we need right now. We need that bit
and
of grit.
Keeps the ball, and he keeps the ball moving.
Exactly, and he has. I think he's among the best passers in English football. He's a brilliant passer of the ball, and he doesn't lose possession.
And
I think the stats were insane last season. His passing stats were insane last season. And you telling me he can't play against fucking the likes of Forest or Brighton or Villa and play well? Of course he can.
I have a quote on Downs, right, from David Moyes. I just read it earlier, right? But it's worth another airing. The things I've seen of him, he needs. I'm going
to bring Jake in anyway because
we'll get him a game when we can. All the players have to earn it. That's Moyes on Downs.
Yeah.
Apart from Soucek. Soucek can play like dog shit every week and still play, apparently. Doesn't have to earn his place.
Well, he's a lovely tall guy, isn't he? He's lovely and tall.
Yeah, and that shit is insane. Like, you having mentioned that, I mean, we all know Scamacca is the first choice striker for the Italian national team. Would, the picture of this scenario, would Di Canio break into this squad? He wasn't even an international.
No, I don't think so.
Let's pretend he's a new signing. Would he even break into this squad?
Can I ask you a question? If he signed Haaland and Mbappe, would he bring them both straight in?
No,
they're not ready yet. I've not been impressed with what I've seen in training.
Don't be silly, Nick. They'd need time to bed in.
No. Right, Jake, welcome.
Yeah, cheers for having me on. Thanks, guys.
That's all right, mate. That's all right. You was over there today, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. Thank God.
Oh, you weren't. Oh God, did you watch it though?
Missed one.
Yeah. You did. What were your thoughts? What was your take on the game?
Well, just glad we weren't there. To be honest, it was just from pretty much minute 2 after we had that chance to minute 90. It was poor. There's no leadership there. There's no fight. There's no desire. There's no hope. You know, we've won one game out of our last 10, I think, and that one was against Norwich, who'd lost all hope by that point. Yeah. So pretty much, I'd say, since in the league, since we beat Liverpool back in November, I think we haven't been right. We haven't had a good run of form in the league since then. We've had our Europe, hoo-ha, but apart from that, there's been nothing. You know, we've lost Noble in the dressing room, which I think is a massive thing because nobody's speaking out there. We've lost Dawson. Nobody speaks out there.
Bang on.
You know?
Absolutely.
Totally agree with that. You know, Dawson is as nice as a defender as you'll ever find. But the thing that he's got, he's verbal, he's talking, he organises, and he does the dirty work. For me, Zuma is becoming every time. Zuma made a tackle today early on, and he did it last week against Forest. Every time he makes a tackle, he gets up and he sort of
he has a limp for 5 minutes.
And it's a very odd thing. I'm not sure if he's playing through the pain barrier or he's having some sort of injections or something.
Yeah,
but
something's
I think somebody needs to check his fitness because every tackle he makes. Every tackle he makes.
Oh, he's clearly playing injured. I mean, he can barely run.
Yeah. I know it must be, Tom. That's what I think. It must be, but again, that don't bode well because we did that. Apparently, we did that with Dawson for a large chunk of last season. Yeah. If you're asking players to play through pain-killing injections and through niggling injuries, in a way, you're sort of neglecting the player. You're using and abusing them.
You absolutely are.
And I know you own that player within reason, but you can't abuse the player's career or
no. Well, if you're playing,
you don't own the player in the human trafficking sense.
Yeah.
They're an employee. There's just an employee at the end of the day, and you've got to have some level of care towards him. He's definitely carrying an injury. I think I'm just expecting in any game now his knee is going to blow out.
Yeah, I know, but we generally don't manage injuries very well anyway, didn't we? Like with Ogbonna and Cresswell, we tried to get Cresswell to play on with a broken back, didn't we? And
they asked Ogbonna to try and run off the ACL, didn't they?
Rub some dirt on it, he'll be fine.
Yeah, it's a little bit worrying.
Moyes would, I genuinely think, like if it was a key player, like Moyes would play them in a neck brace.
Yeah, Soucek in a neck brace. It'd be amazing. Yeah. Go on, John.
What do you think, Jake, about the way that Moyes handles new signings, bringing them into the team? Do you think he's right holding them back, or what do you think? What's your take on that?
Well, to be fair, if I said I think he was right, I don't think I'd have my head coming off this show. So I should probably say he doesn't. But honestly, He's got these players there. He watches them in training. He watches them week in, week out. He watches them the same as we do. And he's seen versus City. He's seen versus Forest. And he literally said it himself in a post-match interview that some of the players and the squad is stale. Yeah, he said that they're stale when he still leaves Scamacca and Cornet on the bench. You know, they weren't fantastic on Thursday night, but they linked up well and they created a goal at the end of the day.
Do you think coming out and saying that the players are stale is a good thing for the players to hear?
I don't, as well as, you know, and it makes him look like an idiot as well, because he's come out and said they're stale and then doesn't play
and then
the
he sends
main
them right
players.
back out there with the same exact tactics.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know. This is bizarre. So look, where do we go from here? I mean, I'll go to you, Jake. Where do we go from here? If you were David Moyes now, what would you like to see in the next game? Well, forget Viborg, Villa. Yeah. What do you want to see against Villa? What changes would you like to see? Players dropped, first of all, and sort of change of shape. If you was a main man.
Well, Soucek to start with, put him on the bench, bring in Downs. Yeah. I hope that Dawson is fit. I really, really do. But I do think that's unlikely. They're saying he's getting closer, but if he's 80 to 90% fit, Moyes plays him, I think.
Ogbonna should be good to go, shouldn't he, by next weekend? Surely Ogbonna can play next weekend.
Got to be in contention.
He gave us 60 minutes on Thursday.
Yeah, it's got to be close.
Yeah, he did have 60 minutes. He did have 60 minutes, but.
Yeah,
a big ask is a big ask.
It is, yeah.
Especially for an ACL, it's not been that long.
Well, exactly, you know, because I thought he didn't play at the quickest pace to be expected, and that was pretty much playing, you know, against a championship team, and it was a quite, you know, chilled level. You know, you all of a sudden chucked in at Villa Park with Ings and Watkins and Coutinho and whoever else, if they start fire, and then it could all go downhill. But you've got to somehow thread Scamacca and Cornet in here somewhere. You know, we've got to have some sort of difference attackingly, because nothing's there. You know, Benrahma has shown sparks against Forest and Viborg. I didn't think he did much today, but you know, let's get him some help up there. Let's start Scamacca and Cornet. You know.
Yeah, I think that's important. What about yourself, Tom?
Yeah, I think he has to ring the changes. I don't know how brave he'll be. This is Moyes. He's conservative by nature. But personally, I think we've got to ring the changes. We've got to give Villa something they don't expect.
Yeah.
You know, we've got these new players in for a reason. I'm hoping over the next couple of days we can get Emerson in, so we could even start him at left back.
Massive signing.
You
can bring him in.
Yeah, because I mean he's Premier League ready. You can't tell me he's not. You know, he's been in your eyes. Yeah,
6 weeks on the bench.
Yeah, so
until he gets up to speed in Premier League.
Yeah, agree with Jake. I would play Downs alongside Rice. I'd like to have Emerson at left back. I would like to introduce Cornet. I'd love to see him and Benrahma dovetailing in that. You know, that attacking three of, say, Bowen, Benrahma, Cornet with Scamacca up top. That Villa don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
Because it's new to them. They don't know exactly what's coming. Like, how are these guys gonna operate in that system? What are we going to be dealing with here exactly? And I think that would give them a few headaches. And I think Downs would do a great job in there beside Rice. Downs a proper defensive midfielder, really good passer of the ball.
He's a worker.
It would give Rice that freedom to make his decision on his terms as to when he goes and when he doesn't. He doesn't have to worry about where's Soucek. Is he fucked off down into the box?
Yeah.
You know, so he'll know that Downs is there. He knows Downs is there. Downs is sitting. He's doing his thing. I can go if I want to go. And obviously the back four, should be solid enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's got to ring the changes in that next game, hasn't he? Because he just has to. Because this is the issue. I said it before Nottingham Forest. I said, if we don't make changes and we lose, he's in fucking trouble. And I said the same this time. But would you be surprised, even if against Villa,
that we see the same exact starting 11?
We see more or less the same team. Would you be surprised?
I'd more or less guaranteed it will play the same formation again. I mean,
I think we'll see a lot of the same players. I suspect he might switch to wing backs, but I think he'll try and mix it. Yeah, I think he'll try and mix it up in his Moyesy way by just going to his wing back formation. Yeah. But we'll largely see the same personnel. He might chuck Corney in at left wing back, possibly.
I'll tell you what he might do. What he might do, he'll play 3 at the back, but instead of playing a conventional 3-5-2, that means he has to play 2 strikers. He'll play a 3-6-1. That's what I'll do.
Yeah, he's not going to play with 2 strikers up front. That'd be amazing if he did.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Right, I know everyone goes Antonio ain't scoring. I get that, but he's not getting the best service in the world, right? And I'm sorry, that's true.
He's not.
He's on an island sometimes.
No, I know. But
There's no fucking service.
But can you imagine 2 centre halves having to deal with Scamacca and Antonio? Can you imagine
deal with that kind of power, that speed, that size
that would give you? Let's be honest.
And and it could be the best thing that ever happened to Antonio.
Yes, he needs help. He needs help, mate, because he makes the right run. But he's crossing the ball in. Imagine if he's crossing it into Scamacca, because we know Antonio can cross the ball. That's his natural game when he was on the wing. So, I just, for me, I know 4-4-2 is uncouth and maybe dinosaur and it's out of fashion. But I don't know why you wouldn't put 2 up top.
Do you think there is a back 2 in the league that would want to go up against Antonio and Scamacca?
That's what I'm saying.
Can I just say something that happened today that I spotted when I was over there? I don't know if you spotted it, John. But when he was bringing Scamacca on and leaving Antonio on the pitch, we were rubbing our hands together, thinking, he's going to go 2 up top. Yeah. Antonio also thought he was going to go 2 up top, and he went to the left side of the forward, right? He left Scamacca on the right, and he went to the left of him, and then Moyes told him, no, you, out on the wing. And then he had a word with him next time the game stopped, right? Yeah. And we never saw Antonio again.
No.
And we didn't really see Benrahma once he'd been shifted into the middle.
No. What he did was it was fantastic. Classic Moyes, right? Benrahma did okay. He wasn't terrible. He did okay. Antonio did pretty well, especially when he had those 2 players around him, right? He was hustling away in the middle there, right? Yeah. So what he did was he bought Fornals off, and then the only 2 players that were playing well, Antonio and Benrahma, he switched them round, and they were both useless afterwards. He took them out of the game, and then he substituted Benrahma off, didn't he?
He did.
But just
and here's one of the other things, actually. Sorry, Jake, go ahead.
No, that's right. I was just going to say, but putting Scamacca up there with Antonio, and somebody mentioned Haller earlier on. I think it was a game against Southampton where he played, or Pellegrini or whoever played Antonio and Haller up front together, and it worked. Antonio needs somebody close to him, and Scamacca can be that guy. And as you guys said, that no centre backs is going to look to the left and see Antonio, look to the right and see Scamacca and go, we've got an easy day here, lads, because they will cause threat, and they will, they'll lay it off to each other, because Antonio, if he does win a header, then he's got to look 40 yards to see Bowen right, 4 hours left, and Benrahma deep somewhere. So he needs somebody close to him up there.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Jake, Tommy. If you've got time, have you both got sort of 20 minutes, half hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, I weren't going to do player ratings on this because I don't know if you know our format. Have you seen our donkeys, Jake? Have you never seen them before? Yeah. Okay.
Have you got enough donkeys?
There's going to be a lot of donkeys.
Can I say one
Control
quick
C,
thing?
Nick. Control C and Control V.
Go on, Tom. Tommy's talking. Go on, Tom.
Go on, Tom.
Nick, sorry. Can I just say one quick thing before you go to that?
I've got to get set up.
The other thing that infuriated me today, and does generally when it comes to Moyes, is that it was very clear early on that it was not working.
Yeah,
it was not working.
No.
After 25 minutes, I'm thinking, do something. Moyes, fucking do something, because the writing's on the wall here.
Yeah.
And he stood on that sideline for 45 minutes and did precisely fuck all about what was going on in front of him.
Yeah.
You could see the problems. You could see this is not working. This is all Brighton. They're going to beat us like this.
Tommy, what was your
nothing for the entire first half, especially given that now there are 5 substitutions you can make.
Well, you know what he does
easily, without blinking. You can make 2 substitutions in the first half.
You know what he does, Tommy.
He did absolutely nothing, and then to compound it, as if that wasn't bad enough, he did fuck all at half time either.
But you know what he does now, because he's been doing it all season, right? Last season and the season before and all season leading up to this, he would make his first substitution on 70 minutes. You could set your watch by 70 minutes. Now it's 60 minutes, right? First substitution on 60 minutes every bloody week.
Improvement, right?
But did you see what happened today, Gal, over there? I don't know if you saw it on the telly, Nick, and that. Sorry, I'm not being.
Oh, go on, mate.
With Scamacca.
Yeah, so Scamacca was stripped off after 50 minutes, right?
Yeah. And he was going to take Benrahma off.
Yeah, but listen, Scamacca was ready to come on, and he sat down on the bench. 5 minutes later, he's put his bib back on. He's warming up again, and then he eventually comes on 61, 62 minutes. And that was in between, before he even come on. I mean, Kevin Nolan and Pat Nevin were talking to him about tactics, and it was like, I don't know if anyone could understand each other because it was going on. It was like the Keystone Cops. And Moyes is going, get over here, because no one knew what was going on. It was just flabbergasted.
It's more tic-tacs and tactics with us.
Do you reckon what it was a kind of managerial dummy where he was trying to get Potter to make a substitution? It's Scamacca standing there.
Oh, to see if he would show his hand.
Yeah.
Hang on, who was all of our subs today? Was it Cornet, Scamacca, Lanzini, and Johnson, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We didn't make 5, did we? We didn't make 5 subs.
No. We'll never make 5.
No.
We wouldn't have made 4.
I didn't think we'd ever have made 4.
Exactly. Yeah. But as well, it was at Forest. It was a good, I reckon, 7 or 8 minutes that Nolan had his magic iPad. God knows what's on that iPad. He was talking to Cornet, and Cornet didn't end up coming on to the 82nd minute because Kevin Nolan was just stood there, just like pointing at his iPad and like, surely he knows what to do. We're 1-0 down. Go out there and try and create a goal. Anyone can tell him that.
Yeah, score. Get on the goal and score. Get on the game and score. Do you think me and Nick have been having a bit of a heated debate in the last 48 hours, and today more heated than normal, which we don't mind. We've known each other a long time. So Nick says Nick's a fan of Moyes. I'm a fan of Moyes, but Nick's a different type of fan of Moyes in so much as Nick thinks Moyes has taken us as far as he can. Right. My argument is, would there
by the way, I'm not Moyes out.
That's what I said. You're not. No.
Yeah, I'm not Moyes out, but I don't think Moyes can take us any further than what we've done.
My argument is, can any manager take us any further than he has over the last 2 years with what he's got available and the funding we've got available? Now, I know we've spent a lot this season, right? But we're never going to be on a par with the big boys now, Newcastle and Spurs as well. So my argument is there anyone that can take us any further? And I'm not Moyes out at all, and I don't think his time's up yet. But I'm just saying, do you think another manager with what he's got available could take us any further? I'm going to ask Danny first.
I am not. I'm obviously not Moyes out, and I don't believe that he's taken us as far as he can. He really needs to make some changes to his managerial style. I know that it's tough to teach an old dog new tricks, but no, I would. All things considered and what we've accomplished under Moyes' second tenure, I would never want him out, because then we could, have the board fuck about and we end up with Sam Allardyce or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
So be careful what you wish for, anybody that's Moyes out.
Tom, what are you thinking?
I think what we saw the previous 2 seasons is about as much as we could realistically expect, from our squad, from our team, with our resources. I think Moyes overall has done a very good job. But the worry now is not at that side of things for me, that he's taken us as far as we can go. I mean, if that's what we're going to get from Moyes, what we've had the last 2 seasons, I'll take that, because we could win a cup that way. My worry is that we don't go backwards, and that's the worry. Is that not that he's taken us as far as he can take us, but that we're now going in the wrong direction again, and that's my worry. And I think that's the only way that I would want him out. I would never want him out because I think he can't take us any further. Because I think, the last 2 seasons, I think we've done bloody brilliant, and I think we've all really enjoyed that journey and have been very happy with what he's done. We've had some great adventures, we've had some great results. We've been actually very consistent, most consistent we've been in a long, long time under David Moyes. So I certainly don't want him out. My only worry is that it's really stagnated now, and that I just don't want to see us backpedaling. That's the only time where I would think maybe a change would be needed, change of manager would be needed, if I feel like we're backsliding, and that all his good work is being undone.
Tommy, would you say that if we fail to qualify for any form of European football in this campaign, would that be alarming enough to you to want to make a change?
It would depend on how far off we were.
Okay.
Look, if we were to finish 8th and not qualify, I could live with that.
Sure.
That's not a terrible season. Okay, it's not perfect, and we maybe could have done a little better, or maybe could have pushed and qualified for Europe. But it's not, for West Ham. 8th is a very good finish in the league.
Is Moyes' job? It's Tommy. Is Moyes' job at risk? So, because I'm not being funny, if we lose against Villa and then we lose the next 3, which is Chelsea, Tottenham, and Newcastle, right? There's a very good chance we could be in the bottom 3 come Christmas. Is his job at risk at that point?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it has to be. I think it should be. I don't think he should. I don't think he should survive that. To be completely honest, that would be alarm bells time now. That would be, for me. That would be, given what he's done the previous 2 seasons. That for me would be the wheels coming off. And I think once the wheels have come off, we cannot afford to get relegated. That would be an absolute disaster for the club. Now I don't happen to think we'll be in that situation.
No chance.
To be honest.
No.
So I don't think that will come up. But if it did, I would certainly at that point I would pull the trigger and get someone else in. Maybe see. I don't know. Do any of you think there would be any possibility that we could persuade someone like Pochettino to take over?
No, I don't think so.
He would want a look. We love West Ham, but let's be honest. He would want a bigger job, perceivably a bigger job than West Ham, wouldn't he?
He might want one, but is he going to get one?
To a Champions League final. I mean, I don't know if it's like, I don't want to say the club is beneath him, but let's be honest. I don't know.
He would look at He would look at finances. He would look at player spend and all that, wouldn't he? He would look at the whole what he's got available to spend and all that. So I think there's a different kettle of fish coming to us.
I don't know. I mean, he did a great job at Southampton. Did a great job at Tottenham. They're not huge clubs. I mean,
No, Tommy, I'm hesitant to ponder on Pochettino because our mate Sean, the Spurs fan, he's just WhatsApped me and said I've just dropped Pochettino into your chat with loads of laughing emojis.
He's not our mate.
And apparently everyone's talking about him. He's a bastard.
Jake, what are you saying? Has Moyes taken us as far as he can?
I'd say no, but I'm worried at this stage. If I'm honest, I am worried. I looked at it and think if we play like that next week, Villa aren't in the best run of form, but they will get at least a point off of us. Then we've got Chelsea and Spurs. If we play like that, I mean, I know Chelsea lost today, but at least Spurs, the way they're playing, they'll batter us. And I do hate to say that, but they will batter us. Yeah, I think they will the way they're playing, but
they will.
But and then Newcastle, well, they gave Man City a very good run for their money tonight, which is they're the first club to do that this season. So after 7 games, we could be in a very sticky situation, and we break away for the World Cup in November. So we could end up in the breakaway for the World Cup being nowhere near where we want to be, which then leaves it for a month for us to sit here and watch England get knocked out in the group stages and sit here and think,
yeah.
And I'll tell you what, if we do get to the point where we're seriously having the conversation about should Moyes be sacked right now, he's made a rod for his own back.
Yeah, yes, yeah. All managers do it though. All managers do it. Whenever a manager is coming, he's running on hard times. And this go back to Bilic, go back to Pellegrini. They all suffer this kind of snowblindness where they can't see. They keep making the same mistakes over and over again. All managers suffer from it. Moyes is no different. And Moyes is no different. He will be judged on results. So if we're in the bottom 3 at Christmas, he will get the bullet. But I don't think we will be in the bottom 3 at Christmas. As he said today, David Moyes, I don't lose 3 games on the trot. Well, he just did.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, he might say Viable broke that up though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he will. He will. Yes,
he might.
It
is true. Right, we've got. I think this is Luke Moyes out-ish.
I'm not
right. So we're just where are we? Luke, are you there? Are you on?
Luke's teetering. His microphone is muted.
I know.
He don't want to show his face because he's Moyes out-ish.
He's got the arm. All right. Well, let's wait until he comes back then.
I think we're in some clothes.
Are we going to do the player ratings?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that up now. 1 minute.
Just need last week's team. That's fine.
Basically.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's back now. Right, before we do that, let's bring Luke in. Hello, Luke. You all right?
How you doing, guys? Can you hear me?
You're right.
Yeah. We're amazing. We're
Hey,
amazing.
how are you doing, mate?
Well, I'm not good. Let's put it that way. That's making an understatement. But
Get it off your chest, mate. Go on.
no, I'm just sum it up. This is I'm feeling, ironically, like I have been in the past when we've played like this under Bilic and under Pellegrini, where the players there's no. It doesn't seem from a fan's point of view when you're watching from the stands. There's no cohesion. There's no clue. There's no tactical awareness. The one thing that you could always guarantee with a Moyes team is that there's effort, and there's no effort. I've watched people were saying now that Noble's not in a team, so that's why the players are looking a bit. I've watched games of West Ham where Noble's been in it, and we've been terrible as well. So that's no excuse for me. But this was the game for me where Nottingham Forest away, they just come up from the Championship, they've got a bit of buzz about them, fair enough. We were unlucky not to get a result there last week, in my opinion. Man City at home, I didn't like the performance. I thought the performance was very lacklustre from us, but I can understand. I let it go. It's Man City, it's Haaland, fair enough. That's a write-off. Was happy with the result on Thursday night against Fireball, got the job done, get in, get out, that sort of thing. But this was the game for me that I thought that if we're going to make a start on our season, this is the game to do it. Brighton are a very good team. It's a bogey team. It was a chance for us to get rid of that hoodoo that we can't beat them in the Premier League. The new signings have got a bit of game time, so maybe they could have started the game and changed things up. Benrahma was starting to show some promise. He was starting to show some confidence. We actually had 2 fit centre-backs for once who actually played centre-backs, who know how to be centre-backs and don't have to play at right wing, left wing, right wing, converted centre defensive midfield or whatever you want to call it. So everything was there today. And we just looked. We looked like the away team.
We had no ideas, did we?
No, we looked like the away team. And Brighton, I'm not being funny. I thought Viborg played really well in the first half against us on Thursday night. But maybe that says more about us.
Maybe that was a warning sign, Luke.
Exactly. So there was.
Does anybody have a clue? Does anyone have the slightest clue what we were trying to do today?
No, I'll tell you what it was, right? I said to my old man, because my old man hated the Allardyce days, but after a while he could understand it because that was Allardyce's tactics, and at least it worked under Allardyce most of the time. He was crap football, but that's what he was about. There was no lie, there was no glamour about it. He said, this is how I play, like it or lump it, right?
Yeah.
Now Moyes, since he's come in, we've been not been the best footballing team in the world, but at least you got some effort. There was wing play, there's counter attacking, there was some sort of cohesion. Every player knew what they were doing. Today, it looked like no player knew what their role was. They didn't know what runs to make. And I think after about 2 minutes, they were so clueless. All it was Zuma gets the ball, pumps up to Antonio. Zuma gets the ball, pumps up to Antonio. Zuma gets the ball, rinse and repeat over and over again. And after a while, just thinking, is there any point in having Soucek and Rice in this midfield? Because at the moment, the ball's going over their heads more than Wimbledon used to play up, in the old days.
Yeah.
And it's like, if David Moyes, he understands the West Ham fans, really truly understands the way we work, we don't mind not playing good football as long as the effort's there. But when the effort's not there and you're constantly playing the anti-football the West Ham fans hate, and it's still not working, okay, he threw Scamacca on after 60 minutes to try and change things up. But again, it was like
same system though.
There was no. If you're going to do that and it's not working, you've got to change it. You've got to change something. But again, there was no.
Luke, weren't you expecting when you saw Scamacca warming up? Weren't you expecting him to go up front with Antonio?
That's kind of what I thought. And do you know what? As soon as he come on, I looked to Antonio to see what he was. If they were going to talk to each other and go, right, you do this, you do that. And Antonio looked at the left hand wing and went, do you want me to go here? Am I to go here now? Is that what's going on? And then at that point, but then to be honest with you, neither of them might as well have been up there because the ball didn't go up to either one of them at any point. It was just you could have had 50. You could have the whole squad, all that bench, all of them playing on the pitch today, and we still wouldn't have scored a goal. We still wouldn't have had an idea. Yeah, okay, we had a couple of shots towards the end, but there was nothing.
I genuinely think you could have had Haaland up front today, and he wouldn't have done anything because the creativity is just not there. There's no creativity.
It's invisible.
No.
It's invisible.
They were getting no help.
the annoying thing about this is you don't have to go back that far. When teams fucking hated playing us.
Yeah.
We were physical. We were in your face, closing down,
nasty team,
tackling.
nasty team.
We were nasty, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
We were in your face. You know, teams fucking did not like us. You know, teams hated giving away corners and set pieces against us. What the hell has happened? I don't know, but it's all gone now.
Tom, I think we've been just found out, and teams have figured out how to attack us. I mean, if they're getting hit with the same exact formation and lineup that they faced twice in previous season, are they not going to be prepared for that?
Yeah.
No. Just so you know, guys, we've not had Kera long enough yet for sort of me to give him an icon. I'm going to give him at least 6 weeks before I sort of bring him into my team. So Ogbonna's going to
like Moyes, yeah. Let him bed in. Yeah.
Did anyone know the statistic that we were the only team on the the only team in the Premier League on the opening weekend of the season that didn't start with a new signing? And I think
you can't take risks, so Luke. You can't take chances because you don't know what could happen. You might lose games. You could lose games. You know.
God forbid.
We're also now the only team in the 4 professional leagues in England of the 92 teams that have not scored a goal yet.
Pathetic.
Yep.
No.
John, I've just moved myself down to the bottom. So if you want to start flashing some comments up,
let's go through the comment.
Yeah, go on. Go on, John. Just do the comments quickly.
Quickly.
Give us a couple of minutes, guys, and then we'll crack on with these.
All right, let's do a couple of comments because there's thousands upon thousands. Jesus Christ. Silver Linings is Downs has to play Thursday.
Surely.
Viborg, surely give him a go. But then again, if he plays the whole game against Viborg, you know he ain't got a chance of coming and playing against Villa.
Exactly.
That's what generally happens. No. You know what I mean?
But if he comes in and impresses, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he'll change things. Di Canio would have failed the Moyes MOT.
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
Moyes will play the new signings for the conference and then play the regulars for the Premiership. Well, maybe.
That's fine if it works.
Yeah, I know.
Mate, I have to agree with this to some extent, and he's not the only one, but I think Dawson doing that has killed us.
Leader.
Right.
I agree, yeah.
Whether it be Dawson or Ogbonna, I'm missing those. I know we missed Ogbonna for a big chunk of last season, but Dawson, to my mind, he stepped up to the mantle after Ogbonna.
Who's the leader? Who's the leader in the Brighton team, right? It's that big lump, that dunk at the back.
Yeah,
he's a great defender.
Yeah, we need Dawson.
Yeah, no, I know.
Let's see. Hang on.
I'll tell you what, John. If there's too many of them, we'll go through them at the end.
Can see us getting turned over by Viborg. We might lose the game, but we won't lose the tie.
Flipping out.
Zuma is injured. Guaranteed he needs surgery. They're putting it off. They're probably waiting for Dawson to come back.
Yeah.
It's just desperation with that, though, isn't it? You know, you've got to play.
Is Zuma going to the World Cup?
No.
Not on this squad. Not on this
squad. Not the way he's playing.
Let me tell you, mate. I'll tell you what. Jared Bowen ain't going to get in that England squad.
No way.
No, I'm just thinking that just as regards Zuma, I'm just thinking like we might be putting off him getting some surgery or something until the World Cup break or something. You know.
And then what? And then we don't let him go to the World Cup. You mean?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, it makes sense to me.
Emerson's plane has done a U-turn. Well, he's only coming from Chelsea. You don't need a.
Yeah, I was just saying, just from the West End.
I'll go and pick him up in my cab if you want. I'll go and pick him up. And this is a lot of people are saying this. Bench Soufal and
Sucek. Yes.
Soufal got injured. I'm not sure how bad his injury was, but that might be.
It didn't look good because he's not one to just go down.
No, he's not.
Unless something serious.
Yeah.
Blessing disguise.
I'll tell you what. You know, if Ashby has a blinder in the second leg against Viborg.
He will.
You know, he might come into contention.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I would love that. Three centre backs, wing backs, 2 up top. A lot of people are calling for 2 up top. I think it needs to be something that we think of, whether it be a 3-5-2. I know a lot of people ain't fans of 3-5-2s.
Would you want to be a defender playing against Antonio, the physical beast, and Scamacca, who likes a tear up? Would you want to play against them too?
Exactly.
Yeah, those are two physical, big guys. They don't shy away.
Look at this one. This is Daniel De Costa. Sorry to cut you in, Danny.
You're all right.
A while back, I heard someone suggest Warburton
wouldn't be surprised
by Christmas. That's
someone did say that. Yep, someone did say that.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I thought it was the best thing
to be best thing since sliced bread. Boom, boom.
Sure,
I'll tell you what. Let's get on with the ratings quickly, and then we'll go to the comments after. So what we'll do is we'll start with Luke. Luke Fabianski. Go on, tell me what you thought about Fabs, and give me a rating.
7.
7.
I was gutted he didn't keep up his penalty saving record that he seems to have, and I didn't realise how good he was at penalties until last season when he saved Moyes' penalty. So
yeah,
a bit disappointing there. But yeah, he was. They can't be faulting for today. He was left out by the defenders.
Okay, fair enough. No, I agree with that. You want an agreement with that? 7? I think that's about right for Fabs, isn't it?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I would have said Luke's decision was final, but I would have gone 5 or 6. I don't think.
I agree.
I think he was so slow with everything, Nick. He was having goal kicks, and whether it was him or Zuma causing the confusion, just a basic 5-yard pass seemed to cause.
He gave it away on a throw.
And you know what I did notice as well? Obviously, he's under instruction now, and he's under pressure because Areola's coming through underneath him. We know Areola's got good distribution. So he's been trying to hurry up his distribution. The trouble is, it isn't natural to him. So when he did try and do things quickly, and he did try and sort of get things going, it didn't fucking work. You know,
it ball straight to the opposition. I mean, that ball must have traveled maybe 10 yards outside of the box and ends up right at the feet of a.
But Moyes knows that.
I know.
Go on, Jake. Sorry.
Moyes knows that his distribution isn't his strongest point, and to be fair, you got to give it to him. I thought he did well against Forest, but again, what's Areola got to do to get into this side? You know, he kept us in that game against Seville last year.
Jake, he's only 29. He's only 29, right? He needs
time to acclimate to playing in a.
He does, He needs time.
Can I just quickly put this out there? I know we're on ratings, and I asked Nick and Gary before, so I'm going to ask the others here. How did we get Areola to sign? Have we told him you're going to be number 1? Exactly. Or have we told him you're coming in to compete with Fabs? Because it's baffling. We all thought Fabs signed this 1-year contract to just be understudy. But it's gone back the other way. So I don't get it.
I don't
know. Favouritism again. It's favouritism again. He's got his favourites.
I think everyone here was hoping that Areola being signed on a permanent would mean not the end for Fabianski, but at the very least that he'd be more of a squad player. That Areola in the cups, domestic cups, and perhaps in the Conference League. This is not what I envisioned. Not what anybody really wanted. I don't think.
No, that's it. Danny, as we're on you, mate. Talk to me about well, it is Ogbonna, but it's Kera, so he's a prop for Kera. So let me go on. So let me.
That looks nothing like him.
I know. Let me know what you thought of Kera today.
He's responsible for that, for giving away.
This is actually like that West Ham meme, isn't it? That's Ogbonna.
Bit racist, Nick. Bit racist.
Oh my god!
Come on.
He's not deserving of a donkey's head. Not on his debut. It wasn't that disastrous.
No. Well, look. It's only a rating of 4 or lower that earns a donkey. Okay.
I'm going to give him a 5. Honestly, I think it's fair.
Yeah, I don't think he was particularly great today.
He wasn't. But I thought he did okay. He was quite neat and tidy at times.
I'd like to see him more.
But Gary, we want to see better than what we saw today, don't we?
Yeah, no, of course we do.
We do. So I'd like to think that was a below average performance for Kera.
Yeah.
Then I agree with whoever.
And I think it was
purely to write him off.
Yeah, I agree with the 5, and I think it was. But I'll be honest, I don't think Zuma did him any favors today.
No, they didn't compliment each other very well at all.
No.
Do you know the one thing I noticed about Kera, and I noticed it against Viborg when he came on, and I said to Nick and that, is his stature. He is not built, and his height is not that of a Premier League defender as centre back, right?
No.
And what I noticed today was, apart from the penalty today, I felt Welbeck targeted him, and a couple of times, I'm not writing him off by any stretch of the imagination, but a couple of times, Kera did get caught on the wrong side, but his pace got him out of trouble.
Yeah, it did.
He recovered with his pace, right? And I think that going forward, when everybody's fit, I think he would be the sort of player who'd probably sit better on the right or the left or something.
No, that's what I was going to say. He's a right back. He plays centre back and right back. Soufal will lose his place once we've got centre halves.
Yeah, I don't think. Listen, he looks quick. He looks great on the ball, but I don't think he, in my mind, looks like a Premier League centre back. I don't think he's.
He's no smaller than Nathan Eke. and he plays.
Yeah,
He
but
plays
Nathan
centre back.
Ake, yeah, but he's not built like him. Nathan Ake is built like a brick, right?
Yeah.
When he came on against Viborg, he looks pretty similar in stature to Johnson, and Johnson's not a centre back to me.
No,
That's
I
what
think he'd be. I think he'd actually be perfect in a back three. If you imagine if we've got,
maybe, yeah.
say, in the short term, before obviously we won't see Aguerd for a while, but if you can imagine with everybody fit, if we have Aguerd as the left-sided centre back, Zuma in the centre, and then maybe Kerr as the right-sided centre back, as in a three, that would be a very solid back three.
Nick, just quickly, Mancunian Hammer disagrees. Kerr was absolutely atrocious and getting a pass because he is a new signing. He is no centre back and will get dominated in the air.
Yeah, I'd say that's unfair to basically judge him on his first appearance.
It's one performance.
Yeah, it's on. You can talk about today.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's very harsh to start projecting forward like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say atrocious. I thought he did some quite tidy things.
He did do some quite tidy things.
Yeah. Right, Tommy, go on. You can have jelly knees, Zuma.
Right. I tell you what, I thought Zuma was all over the place today.
Yeah.
And I'm going to match the number on his back and give him a 4.
There we go. That's his first ever donkey.
I thought
you change it to a cat's head.
He was.
Let it go, Dan, for fuck's sake.
Maybe the Puss in Boots. It's the same. It's the same animation.
There we go. There's the first one.
I do. I think it was a donkey performance from him today.
Yeah.
Getting caught upfield all the time, with no business up there, and I think that, like I said earlier, didn't help Kerr at all, who was exposed at times by him. Even for the penalty, that was Zuma's side. He was having to cover across for Zuma.
Yes, it's Tommy. I'm
Zuma
definitely
had done fucking walkabout again.
Yeah, I know.
Someone said something interesting. Someone said something interesting earlier, right? Is that Kerr? It was only his pace that got him across to make the tackle to give the penalty. If it was another centre half, they never would have got across there and made up that ground.
Yeah, but then he would have been through on goal anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. Right, Jake, Soufal.
Listen, I don't think he can cross a road. No one to cross a ball at the moment.
I agree. Does it wind you up the way he crosses? He never clears. Sorry for swearing, by the way. He never clears a fullback, does he? He just hits the first man all the time. It drives me mad.
It does me as well. I'm floating between a 4 and a 5, and I know that's quite a big,
that's a big jump
difference
on this one.
Yeah. It's a big difference. So,
be brutal, Jake. Jake, be brutal.
Yeah, all right. Go on, then. No, go on. Give him a donkey, for Christ's sake. Go on.
Yeah.
Just about.
We love donkeys on this show.
Jake's done his first ever donkey.
There we go. We don't discriminate on here. Not on this show. I think they're all going to be donkeys, aren't they? Right. Okay. I'll go to John.
Who
for
for?
Cresswell.
Cresswell today proved what a lot of people, yes, Nick, you have been saying for a while, and I've defended him. He can defend, but he can't go forward and get back. So if we're going to keep him, if he's going to play, if we don't get anyone in to replace him, we cannot expect Aaron Cresswell to be bombing up and down the field, because he ain't got it in his legs anymore. He got caught a couple of times, and today a little bit he got caught underneath a couple of long balls over his head. He just totally misjudged them.
I
know. He was below average today. For what I would expect, and like a lot of people in chat, I'm going to go with a 5 if I'm honest.
Okay, that's fine. Gary Rice.
Well, it's very simple. This is going to be the first donkey head that I think Rice has ever got on this show.
Rice.
He was
scandalous, Gary.
He was absolutely terrible today. Right now, I
think my program's going to crash. I don't think I can allow this.
Yeah, I know. You blue screened. It kind of continued with his performance from Forest last week, where I felt he was quite petulant, and he was, gesticulating all the time that he wasn't getting the right balls and everything.
What the hell is Soucek going to get if Rice gets a 4?
Rice was not a leader today, and that is what he's there for. He's there to lead, especially when a team is, just doesn't look Like, it doesn't look cohesive. They don't look like they've got any idea. You know, you expect to at least see him talking, and that's a very valid point from Jake, because I was watching Rice, right? And even when he's back there defending a corner, his mouth doesn't move. It doesn't open, right? He might point here and there and whatever else, but he's not a vocal captain. That aside, I thought the combination of him and Soucek is bloody awful, and I'm reluctant to give Rice a high mark just because he's Rice. When he plays really, really poorly, he should be marked the same as everyone else.
He was lower than below average for Rice.
I would
we're judging
say
on just today. Yes.
Only today.
Yeah. Well, no, 5 is average. 5 is average.
Not on our matrix.
I'll go with the consensus, right? So have a look in the chat. See what a lot of people seem to want to give him a 5. I'd like to give him a 4, but
I think that's brutal.
Yeah,
I agree with 4. I thought he was awful today.
Yeah. You can't give him a pass because of what he's done, like you said, Gal. You have to be.
Yeah. This makes me really uncomfortable. Right,
well, look, sorry to be the one to have to do it, but you know, there you go.
Right.
What about this one? Joe Collins. Rice needs to concentrate on football.
Interesting point. Is all I've done this week is watch YouTube clips of Rice on telly. Right. Number one with Jamie Redknapp and whatever, doing that, singing Rice, Rice Baby at the end of a TV show and doing all sorts. And another one, he was on Sky playing golf, walking around a golf course, having a laugh. And there was another one as well. So he seems to be that side of his brand seems to be getting quite a lot of attention at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he's a likable young man, right? He's got a lot going for him. And the thing is he's making that transition from star to superstar. And a lot of them young players... agents' advice maybe will start doing TV appearances
to build your brand.
You know? It is.
Sure. I'm sure they will, but bread and butter is your captain of your football club. Sort that out.
Man, the match is going to be fun today.
Yeah. I'm quite surprised that Rice is getting this media coverage without getting a big move, because for them to
pushing for Luke.
Yeah, no, it's him. I know it's him, but what I'm saying is sometimes if you know, no matter what player you are, if you go to the media. Oh, do you mind if I do an interview with Gary Neville? Do you mind if I do an interview with this person, that person? They go, you're playing for West Ham, mate. No, see you later. Bye. If you got someone from Man United or Chelsea or something, we'll have them. But I know he's almost like, you know how Anthony Joshua was the upcoming golden boy of British boxing. He's like the up and coming golden boy of British football. And it's like, you know, it's getting to a point now. You're thinking, well, maybe he should have got his move to Chelsea or Man City this year then, because. You know, we got a golden boy, and we're not even in the Europa League, are we? We haven't finished top 6.
I hope it ain't that, Luke. I hope it ain't that. I hope it ain't that he's just lost interest, and he's trying to, you know, force a move or something like that. I hope he's just got a couple of. He's just having a couple of bad games, and he just ain't.
Are we genuinely going to start blaming Rice for all of our woes if the team starts playing bad?
No,
not all of them.
But you've got to judge him on his individual performance, and today he was terrible.
Yeah.
So,
okay, right. Just to ensure that this is a level playing field, I'm going to give Tommy Soucek. Right, Tommy, talk to me about Soucek, please.
-4.
Already?
No, -4.
-4.
John. Go on,
that's generous.
Yeah, go on, Tommy. Tell us about Soucek.
I'd like to say it was like playing with 10 men, but it was worse than that.
He's a pain in the arse. He's a pest.
He was actually a liability.
Yeah.
He's an absolute liability in the team at the moment. So it's worse than playing with 10 men. He actually hurts us.
Yeah.
You know, so we're better off with Rice on his own there.
He is half the time anyway, because he's always fucking dithering around by the edge of the 18-yard box, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, his form is just awful at the moment, and today I thought he was even worse than last week. He's just bringing nothing to the team right now, and he was worse than Rice today. As bad as Rice was, he was even worse. Yeah, this is gonna. Geez, this not something I think I've ever done, but he's like, I don't know how to even give him a mark.
Like, one for turning up. One for turning up.
Yeah, you get one for turning up.
Like, I'm serious. Like,
did he?
I think I'm going to leave it at. I'm going to leave it at 0 because he was a complete and utter. He was a liability, which is even worse than just being shit.
It's a shame I haven't got the donkey's arse because I could have put that on, couldn't I?
Just give him 2 donkeys. Just whack them on there.
Double donkey.
I think Irish Tom is actually the first person to score someone a 0. So for that, he deserves round of applause.
He does. Well, I personally, I appreciate it.
You know, you've been scoring him 0 for 7 months.
Right, okay. So we've had, I think it's Luke next on Pablo Fornals.
Right. Okay. So
he did have a shot on goal.
It's not the. It's not, do you know what? I'm going to score him a 6 because
I didn't think he was terrible today.
No, he weren't. He was all right.
Man of the match candidate.
He, to me, actually he's very good at unlocking runs. So he's very good at playing those passes that cut through defences.
And he moves them quick. He moves them quick as well, doesn't he?
Almost first touch.
That first time pass he played through to Bowen was brilliant.
That's what exactly what I was talking about, and that is something that I think that maybe that was the Fornals we got before Moyes turned him into an all-action.
We got Moyes.
Yeah, basically, that's it. I think I can't hate the guy. For me, I think there was a point where in the first half where we got about 2 throw-ins. And this is my number one hate with West Ham players is when you get a throw-in and there's more opposition players in front of the throw taker than ours. And we all seem scared. All our players seem scared to want the ball. But he's always the one that comes to the ball. He tries to show that he wants the ball and he wants to be the man to try and take some responsibility. He fights. Unfortunately for him, he's probably not the most technically gifted player because he's been Moyes now. But he forgot what it's like to know how to technically deal with the ball. But he runs around and does his job. But it's one of them things. Like, I think no matter what he tried, that was one decent thing that he done today, and that's why I'm giving him a 6 because if Bowen had been in good form, he could have made more of that, and we could have got a goal from it possibly.
Absolutely.
But just for that from showing himself for the throw-in and trying to make responsibility and playing that brilliant ball first time, I'm going to give him a 6.
And to be fair, Luke, as well, that was probably one of the first times that we saw our midfield in the shape that you can see on the screen.
Exactly.
With Fornals in that 10. After that, Soucek seemed to assume Fornals' role, didn't he?
Yeah. It was very strange.
And what the hell was with that run into the box where he thought he was going to just take on 2 defenders on his own?
I don't know.
Does he really think he's going to dribble past anybody?
He can dribble. I reckon he can dribble, but not with a ball. Right. Okay. Right. Next one is going to be Danny on Benrahma.
So I know I just mentioned that Fornals at a 6 was man of the match candidate. I would say that Benrahma was above average and one of the only, if you can even say positive.
Really?
I didn't think he played that bad.
I think defensively he put a lot of work in today, and I'm a big critic of Benrahma. But I think they done a job on him. I think Potter saw Benrahma as our biggest threat. Whenever he got the ball, he had 2 or 3 people on him.
He had a couple of good runs.
Back.
But that's his last 2 games. Forest and when he come on against Freiburg, he hasn't cared that there's 2 players on him. He's had the confidence to try and beat those players, and that's the most disappointing thing today. He went back into his shell, and he was the old Benrahma that none of us really care if he's at the cover or not.
Tries to cut to the right and put it in the top
bin. He was just scared. He went back into his shell and he was scared today.
But I think there's limitations with Benrahma though, Luke. I think it depends whether or not he feels he's got the beating of a fullback. If he feels he's got the beating of a fullback, he'll try and roast him.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think,
the thing with today with Benrahma is Potter, as you say, clearly saw him as the danger man and basically decided, look, let's shut him down and see what else they've got. And unfortunately, the answer was absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
No.
Look at a 6 is fair, more so than a 7, because let's be honest, I'm not sure Fabianski deserves a 7. I don't think anybody.
I don't think he does.
No.
I don't think anybody
was a point.
qualifies as having been above average.
All right, we have to respect people's decisions, yeah?
Okay, so no, Danny, if you want him to be a 7, it can be a 7. What are they saying in the chat anyway?
No, let's go with a 6 because I'm looking at the rest of this and realistically, I don't believe even Fabianski deserves a 7. Nobody.
Maybe you're
was
right,
above
to be fair.
average today.
I'm going to change mine for Fabianski.
Okay.
But,
Don't bow down to peer pressure, Luke. Do not bow down to peer pressure.
it's not peer pressure. It's just a little voice in the back of me going, "You muppet, Luke, change it." What the fuck did you say, sir?
Or Luke, it's just them £7.30 pints you had today.
£6.30 actually. I got a good deal today.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah, it's gone to me.
Do they still have that dividing wall between the away supporters? And
they don't like atmosphere. They don't like atmosphere.
It's so awkward.
It's just it's dying. That's another thing as well. They're killing the atmosphere off of the stadium, which don't help, which is fantastic. That's all we need.
Right, Jakey, Bowen.
Straight off the bat, I think he was average. I think I would give him a 6. One thing I would say is, I don't know if you know, but Danny Dye's been away for a month. We needed to get back ASAP because this guy,
get him his mojo back.
Exactly. He's shown on Thursday night that he said on it there. That was pin perfect into the corner, but he was average today. He didn't really provide Antonio with much service. It was frustrating day for him. I think he was average though. He puts the shift in. I'm going to give him a 6.
One season wonder.
That's fine. No, I don't think so. I don't think he's a world beater, Bowen.
Oh, come on.
No. What I'm saying is, I think he's a top player. But when people were talking about him going to Liverpool, I did kind of laugh a little bit, thinking they've got Salah and Mane and Bowen. All he's going to be, all Bowen would end up being, is Shaqiri on the bench. That's all he's going to be.
I think he's West Ham level, Bowen.
Yeah.
In the chat, Bowen's getting predominantly 5s. Few people called him for a donkey, but not being funny. If you're brave enough to give him a donkey and he sends his father-in-law around, then you're a braver man than me.
I thought when we were having that period in the second half, and at the beginning of the second half and towards the end of the second half, I thought he did it right.
Yeah, I agree.
That's fine. Right, Gary and John, you can both have Antonio. Go on, John, you go first.
Look, I'm always a big fan of Antonio because the one thing with Antonio that I like is that he works hard, he has work ethic, right? I know his goal record of recent months hasn't been nowhere near what it should be, but let's remember where he came from, and we are only going to judge him on today, obviously. He was feeding off absolutely nothing. You could have had Haaland up there, Nunes up there, anyone up there, and they wouldn't have been able to do anything, right?
Did you see in the second half, John, when Cresswell got caught out with the ball up front and Antonio chased all the fucking way back and ran the ball out at left back?
Yeah. And this is the thing, right? He's a trier, and God knows West Ham fans love a trier. We know his technicality isn't his best attribute, but neither was Marlon Harewood's, and we loved him. And he gets lambasted because he is flogged like a bloody donkey up there, and he's just told to run here, there, and everywhere. And he does it generally without seemingly moaning and just gets on with it week in, week out. So I always find it hard to give him a donkey's head or anything close to that. So for me today, I'd say 6.
Agree with 6, but I'm not having this Marlon Harewood disrespect. Not having it. Marlon, look, I know Marlon wasn't a world beater, but
that's what I mean.
He knew where the net was.
He was a goal scorer. He was. He
was. Yeah. I'm not saying he didn't score goals, but he wasn't technically gifted, was he?
No, he wasn't.
His work ethic was far superior to me than anything
I think Antonio's issue with shooting, I think when I've seen him shooting from distance, I think he just needs to start a little bit further back, maybe from the halfway line when he strikes the ball.
His left foot. Shoot. He's never missed a shot with his left foot.
Yeah, Gary, do you agree with that score?
Yeah, that's fine.
So I think a 6.
I think I've upset Haaland's dad.
Yeah. And I think on a day, when
if he shoots from the halfway line, then just maybe he'll get enough dip on it to get it under the crossbar.
Also, I need to point out that we have just hexed our front 3.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. We have big time. But it can't get any worse. I
think on a day like today, you can't even really choose a man in a match, can you? But I think we should anyway.
Am I just going to go 6s all round for the? We won't bother with the subs all week. They didn't really do anything, did they? To be honest.
Nick, you're also missing a donkey head on Moyes.
Moyes.
No. We're going
to get to that. Okay.
We're going to talk about Moyes. We're all gonna basically have a go. Have a go at Moyes. So I'm gonna go for everyone one by one. Luke, tell me what your thoughts were on Moyes today. Go on, give me a score. We'll do this as a democracy. We'll do an average.
Okay.
Go on, Luke.
I'm going to go for a 2.
You're going to go for a 2. That's
that's
fine.
me. That's me being very generous.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want me to delve into detail?
Yeah,
or,
go on.
Yeah,
Just.
It's. I tell you what it is. It's sad. It's a shame the way things have gone, because he's gone from being the Moyes sire to the man that we are now saying should be replaced by the former Tottenham manager, Mauricio Pochettino. I'm not saying everyone's saying that, but that has cropped up on Facebook a few times as well.
Yeah.
He's almost, to me now, becoming the manager that was at Sunderland and was at Sociedad, because there's no, you can't when he first come and changed the whole ethic of West Ham.
Yeah.
It was amazing because although he said this isn't going to be pretty, but it's going to be effective, and the whole place was loving it, because we just saw players who were full of running. You know, it almost seems this whole the thing that I think I'm seeing him a little bit go back on himself, and I think I realised it when Lingard didn't come back the first time.
Yeah.
And I think there was something that was said by Mark Noble when Lingard first turned up the training session, and Moyes, I don't know if he said it sarcastically, but Moyes said, "Right, this is the golden boy, Jesse. Right, everyone look after Jesse." And Noble went, "Hold on, we're a team here. You can't have a golden boy in a team." And
really?
that's exactly what he said. Apparently, that's one of the first things he said was this is a golden boy, Jesse. Look after him, whatever. And then Noble said, "No, we're not having that. He's part of the team." That's one of the reasons why even Lingard said he changed his whole outlook, because he changed his career around. But that to me was like, that don't sound like Moyes. The Moyes ethic, the Moyes MOT. You work hard, you do your bit for the team, and that's it. And ever since then, the longer it's gone on, I think with last season with the Europa League, when basically he just went, right, sod the league, we're just going to try and win the Europa League. That's fine, providing you win the Europa League, but we didn't even get to the final, and then he's messed up the league, so we can't even qualify anywhere near the top 4, so that's all gone out the window. I really thought, pre-season, we look like we're still on pre-season to me. The fitness level.
We're no preparation. I don't think we poor preparation for this season.
There's no. I think what my old man said to me a little while back. He said, when you see these top teams going out to the likes of Singapore to America to play these tournaments against teams like Man United, like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and they're playing Man City and Liverpool, playing each other in a final out in China to it might be pre-season, but that's almost they're setting their levels and they're setting their standards higher right from the start. So they're not going to go and play some second division team in France. They're not going to go and play a championship team. They're not going to go play a team in Scotland. They're going to go play who they're going to be fighting against for the season coming.
Yeah.
And I actually think that is almost because we're not in the Europa League now. We're in the Conference League. It's almost like our standards have dropped. Now we've let 4 players go, which everyone kind of agreed with at the time. Yeah. And we have brought in decent upgrades. They're not probably the upgrades he wanted. I don't think he's got his first choice on any of the strikers or any of the players that are brought in. I think he wanted different players in. But the shame with me is the fact that at least, you knew that the players would give full effort. Now, to me today, there was no... Do you remember we played Brighton last game of the season last year, and we were 1-0 up going into it, and then we lost 3-1, I think it was, or 2-1 towards the end. 3-1. And basically Potter out-tacted him for the second half, and that's why they won, because they were completely over us. Today, they outplayed us, they outthought us. They didn't even have to get out of second gear.
I think they was in second gear today.
It was almost like watching the Man City game in the opening season, because there was no fight, there was no battle. I think it got to about 65th minutes when Scamacca come on, and you thought, right, we might be going for it now. And there was still the players were going, all right, well, what do we do? Just punt the ball. And it was route one. It was so predictable. And I just think I hope that his backroom staff are still helping him out. And I know that Stuart Pearce has left and he's brought other guys in and stuff like that. But you'd at least see some fire from him on the side of the pitch by shouting at the players, being out there, showing directions. I didn't see anything from him today. I know I'm like about 10 miles away, being where I sat in the ground, because they're like ants over that side of the ground. But it almost seems so far this season that he's lost his how can I put it?
Lost his mojo.
Lost his muster, lost his mojo, you name it, because there seems to be something missing from the whole team.
I have a theory about that.
Yeah, go for it.
I might be wrong in this, and I'd be interested to hear what you guys think.
Go
on. I think...
Tommy, what's your score first for Moyes?
I'm happy with the 2. It was terrible from him today.
That's generous from Mel. That's generous.
I probably don't even have to go into the reasons. We probably covered them all. But I have a theory. Now, I haven't thought deeply about this. It's just something that occurred to me earlier today. I'm wondering if we lost our mojo and David Moyes lost his mojo when we lost Alan Irvine. I don't think it's been the same since he left. I really don't. And
Pierce.
I think Pierce maybe as well, but to a lesser extent. But I think since Alan Irvine left, we haven't been the same team.
No,
I really don't.
No, I think you're right.
When did he leave?
I think you're right.
When did he actually leave? I can't remember now. That was last season at some point.
That was the end of last season, wasn't it?
Was it? Oh, okay, right, okay.
Yeah, it was the end of last season.
Right.
But no, I think you might have a point there, Tommy. It's definitely something's gone wrong. I'll tell you that
just culturally something has changed in that dressing room. It's no.
But if you lose big characters like Noble, Pierce, Irvine, even
Noble's the other one.
Right. So, and I know they're not on the pitch.
Yeah.
But,
they have a role to play though in terms of setting the standard and leading by example.
It's not even that, Dan. For me, it's also the fact that they will just get up in your face, and I can imagine them going, "Come on, get the fuck on with it," and just more colloquial, more dressing room language. You don't want it to be nicey all the time. Sometimes people need to be told. No.
Yeah. No, I agree.
What do you think, Jake, on Moyes, Jake?
Well, I think Luke summed it up pretty well. It's predictable, you got to ease everybody in. I'll give him a 2 as well, because it's incredibly frustrating that every single one of us here, I could guarantee every single West Ham fan that was in that stadium this afternoon could have pretty much said the same thing. Take Soucek out, start these blooming new signings, get Cornet and Scamacca out there. Just play Johnson, please, over Soufal or Cresswell, one of them, and mix things up and play a different way, because he said it himself that we've been found out. He knows we've been found out, and he still keeps it the same. That's the most baffling thing about it.
Yeah. He does. He looks a fool now, doesn't he?
He does. And if he doesn't change it next week, then I don't think we'd be surprised at all if he doesn't change it next week. It's just we're all sat here thinking like he's a good manager. We know he's a good manager. Why can't he see this week in, week out? It is the same stuff, and it was building up towards the back end of last season, and it came straight back into this season. And I think Luke, you made a valid point about the pre-season. United were playing Liverpool or whoever. I know they've been crap, but they're playing the big sides. We played Luton, and I know we played Rangers. But we played Luton. Was it Reading? Yeah.
Ipswich.
Lons. There's no point. Let's organise a decent pre-season, because it's shown again we weren't ready. We are still in pre-season. We still think the season starts next week. I'm convinced. We just seem to
and also Jake, with pre-season, wasting the game time on players that were never going to be playing in a little Masuaku. Why was Masuaku being played in pre? It's supposed to be getting your team ready for the season, isn't it? Isn't that the point?
Well, exactly.
He didn't get a lot of players in. I don't know if he wanted to or if he couldn't do, but there was
many in place by that time.
Exactly. There was no new signings until the last few weeks, the last month. We've signed all our players.
They just kind of rushed in,
So it makes it more difficult for Moyes, because he's got to get the players in whilst they're finishing off pre-season and the season starts, because and to be fair, I think we're all surprised in how many players have actually signed. I didn't think we'd sign as many players as we would. We needed to, but I didn't think we would. But the criticism is that they've came as the season starting. It's disrupted things, and we have been unlucky with centre back injuries. We bought a £30 million centre back, and he got injured. Just our luck.
Yeah, that's unlucky.
So I can't, you can't criticise him for that. But it's just predictable, and I don't know where we go from here unless he changes things big time.
I'll tell you what would help a lot. I think we desperately need to get this number 10 in from Bruges. I think we have got absolutely no creativity in that team whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's
No
the
creativity
end of
whatsoever.
Sucek. That's the end of Soucek if that number 10 comes in.
I think it will be. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, lovely. Right, Danny. On to you, mate.
We're still on Moyes.
Still on Moyes. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Moyes? Do you agree with what everyone said?
I agree with what everyone has said, and something that Jake just hit on was that taking so long to bring in new signings he's making his own job harder on himself.
Yeah, I know.
And
they do that. Managers like doing that.
They like doing that, and Moyes especially likes doubling down and defending his methods because and to be fair, he has a right to do that because he's gotten us some pretty decent results in the last couple of seasons. But not unfortunately, like it's too bad, like tough shit. The standards have grown from the fans. It's not that we're demanding necessarily more. We just want some consistency. And right now he's not. I mean, the only thing he's been consistent on is his team selection. Unfortunately,
what we're lacking is evolution.
Yeah,
there's no evolution in this team. You know, if you stand still, you go backwards essentially. in this league. And basically, Moyes, we have stood still.
Yeah.
And so because Moyes is refusing to play the new signings, he's playing the same old formation, same old tactics, same players. You will not keep getting the same results when you do that. You have to evolve your team every single season. You need to have new signings. You need to freshen things up. You must always be improving the positions that need improving.
It's an arms race.
So far, that has not
be strengthening themselves when they got a chance to.
No.
So
Do you know what my take is? What my take is on the Moyes situation, right? And this goes back to, and I stand by it. So even looking at the past 2 seasons where we've been on the journey that we've had, the 2 great finishes, I don't think there's many, if any, managers that could have done what Moyes did with those players to overachieve in the way that he did. I think that David Moyes, the job that he did when he came in, where he had a team that was kind of, bottom of the running stats, they were underperforming. I think that's what David Moyes is suited to. He can come in, he can be Superman, he can get them working, he can get them regimented, he can get them organised. I think that's David Moyes. But this has always been my concern. Once you get to this stage now where we no longer want to overachieve to get to top 6, we want to belong up in that area. We want to belong in that area of the league, which means that he's got to recruit different types of players, better players. He's got to have a bigger squad because we want to compete regularly in more competitions. I've always worried that this was going to be Moyes' ceiling, that he wasn't going to be able to take us to that level. Now, that isn't me saying that Moyes is done, because I don't personally believe that West Ham, and this is the irritating thing, I don't think we're ready for more than Moyes just yet, because I think if we did go out and get a Pochettino, someone like that, or a Potter, would we back them? Would the board back them sufficiently to get that to enable us to get us into the top 6?
Potter wouldn't need. I mean, you look at what Potter's working under at the moment. He doesn't need backing. He can basically bring a player in, grow them, make them a star, sell them, and then sign someone cheaper. Every year they spend less money than they bring in.
The trick we've missed is that it's, like I say again, the evolution. What we had to add this season was pace and creativity.
Yeah.
That was vital, that we added the pace and added the creativity. Now, we've got some pace with Cornet.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I mean, there's no other pace really has been added. And absolutely zero creativity has been added to the team.
Yeah, I think most importantly as well, right, when you bring players in, what you really want to do is fill those players with confidence and bed them into the team and make them feel a part of it. And what he seems to be doing at the moment is bringing players in and just excluding them, keeping them on the outside, on the fringes, and saying you have to earn your right to get into this team that's fucking losing every week.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. If you buy a player because you think they're good enough, use that player.
It's a bit arrogant, isn't it?
Yeah. Very arrogant.
It is arrogant.
My biggest bugbear with Moyes at the minute is that I'm a big supporter of Moyes and I want him to carry on doing well at the club.
Yeah.
But what he's doing is, I know there's a big section of the fan base that have never been won over by him. And the problem with Moyes is I think he's talking too much. I think he's hanging himself with what he's saying. He's coming out, when he comes out and goes, the players are stale, but then he's picking the same players. That gives people ammunition. And I don't know why he's saying so much. He doesn't need to talk as much as he is. Yeah. And I think he's creating a rod for his own back there.
And what kind of a message does that send if he's publicly criticizing players' performances and rewarding them with more minutes?
Yeah. No,
But as well, from Rice's post-match interview, where he basically went on there and said, well, it was disappointing to see the fans boo us the day after everything we've done in the last 2 years. You know, it feels like everybody's heads down in us. You know, it's ending. You know, we are allowed to criticize the team, and we will today because it was very poor.
It wasn't good enough.
We can't just rest on the laurels of what we've done in the past 2 seasons.
No, exactly as well. You know, and people paid a lot of money to go and watch that crap today. So I think they got a right to. You know,
I never even heard that. You know, I never even heard him say that because I was at the game. That's an awful thing to say. The fans are allowed to. You know, you lose 2-0 at home to Brighton. Fans are allowed to boo. They didn't boo during the game. They booed at the end of the game.
Well, look. In the words of Paul Merson from the Paul Merson meme about Spurs, you know, where people say, you know, about our recent success, you know, as Paul Merson would say, what fucking success? Yes, we've had a couple of high finishes, but we ain't won. We've not won anything.
No, but to Nick, that to most West Ham fans is success. Let's be honest.
I know, but for Rice to come out and say that as if they've just delivered trophies to us, they haven't done that, have they?
No,
not even an Audi Cup.
No.
I think we should have entered the Betway Cup pre-season again.
We should have.
That would have got some silverware and just a bit of confidence under our belt. Exactly.
It would have. Listen, right. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to let, because I know Jake, you haven't got school, have you? But we're going to let the guests go because we've been neglecting our chat. And then what we're going to do, we're going to have 10 minutes running through the chat. So we're going to say our goodbyes to our guests. So Tommy, thank you very much for coming on. It's been brilliant, entertaining as always. Cheers, Tommy. And Jake, thank you very much for coming on, mate. It was great to have you on. And don't be a stranger, guys. Come back.
No. Thanks very much for your support this week. And thanks very much for having me on.
Lovely. Cheers.
See you later.
Thank you. Cheers, mate. And Luke, if Luke is still there, Mr. Moyes outish.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Em. Right, guys, we'll catch you soon. Right, there we go.
Oh, what a miserable bunch of bastards they were. Just don't get them on again.
Right, okay, John. I am look, like I say, we've been. It was a phone in today. It was to get people on, get opinions. So we are going to attempt to go through some chats now. So John, it's over to you, mate. Good luck.
There's loads, mate. But I'll go through some of the angles. West Ham.
I'll have 15 million of them.
Moyes is finished at this club. We won't beat Villa, Spurs, or Chelsea. Even the Rice interview was concerning after the game. To me, the Villa game is must win there.
That's got it. It's a must win. Yes. Absolutely, yeah. Because if you don't win that, we ain't going to win the next 3 after that. Let's face it. No. I mean, Newcastle look fucking amazing today.
We might turn up for them games. We don't know, but you need to win. We need to get that win before them games come to get a little bit of confidence back.
Definitely.
If they're saying the confidence is gone. Garino says, I think we lack the confidence in tactics and formation is starting to show. Danny DaCosta says, I think I agree, lacking pace and creativity. I fear Venanken isn't that and will look slow in the Prem. I don't know much about him.
He's a similar player to Soucek, only technically superior.
Bold of him to assume that he would even get any playing time in the Premier League.
Yeah, but again, my issue is looking at the style of player he is, looking at the profile of player that he is. This is just Moyes. If this is a Moyes signing, which it clearly is, this is just Moyes buying a new piece because he's now blaming Soucek for not being the right person now in that role. I think we're going to play the same way. He can't
be blaming Soucek that much if he's still playing him, Nick.
Because he said it after the Arsenal game, didn't he? That he likes a tall player in there. That's why he plays him. It's a threat. It's an aerial threat.
So do we think this is arrogance from Moyes?
Yeah, I do. We just said that, haven't we? I think it is.
Is he arrogant? Does he come across as an arrogant person? I'm not sure he does.
Not necessarily.
A little bit to me, like when he comes out and says things, I'm not going to do things just to appease the fans. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. A little bit to me. I think he says things he shouldn't sometimes.
Yeah, I think John you hit the nail on the head. Sometimes he should just shut up.
Yeah.
just think he gives people ammunition to be anti-Moyes, and that's what worries me. Because, like the thing with Antonio, you don't want to see someone who's done well for the club, which he has. You don't want to see somebody get hounded out or get overly criticised, and that's what I think saying too much is doing for him. You know what I mean? But so let's have a look. Garino says you are only as good as your last match. Mr. Rice today was bloody awful, along with most of other matches since November last year.
Do you know, Jake made a point earlier on. He mentioned the Liverpool game back in November was the last time that we actually really played well in the league. Yeah, that was the entrance of Kretinsky, wasn't it?
Yeah.
On that day.
Yeah, it was.
It seems like it's gone downhill since then. I don't know whether that's got any bearing.
This to me from Stuart, and I know we've sort of discussed it, sums up my anger today. And I don't boo, and I'm not that sort of fan. I'm not judging people for that, but I just don't do it. But today I was pissed off more with the fact we looked unfit, disinterested, and that was the thing that was really annoying me. We didn't look like we were fit. And
there was no hunger out there from virtually anyone.
Hang on, Dan, it's one minute, John. Look, sorry, Luke. You was away getting a drink. We basically just kicked all the guests from the thing. Now we're just running through the chat. So thank you very much for coming on, mate. We're just going to wrap up the last few comments.
That's fine. I just want to say thanks for having me on tonight. I had to duty calls. I had to run, mate. I'm sorry, boys, I couldn't let anyone know. But
that's all right.
Yeah, nice being back on, lads. And
cheers, Luke.
Nice to rant and lots of stuff. And
lovely. Thanks for coming on, mate. It's been
have a good one, boys.
Have a good next time.
See you later.
Up the hammers. See you later.
Up the hammers.
Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. To me, we look like we're running through treacle, and I don't just mean the obvious targets. I mean most of them.
I think the Czech boys one season wonders comment is bang on. Yeah, absolutely. I mean that's what they look like, isn't it?
Yeah,
fantastic in that first season, both of them, weren't they?
Yeah. That's a good point for Garino. That's a good point.
Decline coincided with injury.
Augie's injury.
Yeah, massive loss.
Garino, you just ruined a perfectly good conspiracy theory there. I mean, that's
bloody hell, Garino.
Fuck's sake. Killjoy. Don't come in here and talk sense.
Yeah. Hang on.
All right.
So many comments, mate. I don't know where I'm playing. Peter reckons we couldn't score in a brothel. Now, I've never been to a brothel, and I don't know what goes on in there. Nick, it's good to change things in your show, but don't use them again until they settle in. Luke, Jake, and Tommy.
We've lost Nick from that. That's hilarious.
Nick's left his own show. I'm gutted. Oh,
I just kicked myself from the studio now. That was me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm getting trigger happy.
Oh, God. Where are we? Hang on. I've lost my thing there because that is actually a really funny comment. Well done there, Glenn Marshall. Funny geezer, you. Anyone bothered about Thursday? Just focus on Villa.
No, I'm not.
A little tiny thing in the back of my mind is bothered about Thursday. If they get an early goal, you know.
But do you know something? It will. I mean, if we lose against, I know you love a cup run. But if we lose against Villa and then we lose the next three and we are pointless after 7 games, no one's really going to give a fuck about the Conference League anymore.
But
I don't think so.
Let me ask you this though. Suppose we finish bottom half of the table.
Yeah.
And we go and win the conference.
Yeah, but we'll accept that. Of course we will.
That's a success, right?
But that's a lottery though. I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to be playing teams that have dropped out of the Europa League. I wouldn't put all my chips on that one.
No, of course not. And no. It doesn't look like Moyes will, but
Nick, I've got to ask, because you only ever done it once, right? And it was the funniest thing you've ever done in 35 years of knowing you, right? So this comment here from Dougie Montana, if that's his real name, Soucek looks busy but never does anything with the ball. And I agree, he does look very busy, but he always looks like a dog who's covering up his shit with soil to me when he runs. You know what I mean? You know when a dog does shit and does that.
Tommy actually said earlier, he's a hindrance to the team. He's fucking. He's become pointless in our setup, and it is brutal. But do you know what I will say? And I think you said this about Antonio last year, John. And do you know something? It's a shame that it's come to this. It is a shame that David Moyes plays players until the point where everyone is going to end up hating Soucek. It didn't need to be like that. He had a lot of credit in the bank. He was hammer of the year 18 months ago or whenever it was. When his form dipped, he should have been dropped. It's simple.
No, and that's always what bothers me with it is he leaves them out to dry, and whether it's stubbornness or whether it's he genuinely thinks they're having a good game, I'm really not so sure anymore. Yeah. Look, I don't know where to go with this anymore because I just think that Moyes is creating his own problems by being stubborn, being arrogant, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I just genuinely hope he turns it around. I generally hope he has a moment of introspection where he can. You know, he realises something's got to change, or he listens to one. Because I do get the impression he doesn't listen to his assistants. I do get the impression that he is the boss, and what he says goes.
Do you feel like he's kind of shut himself out from outside voices, even within his own dressing room?
Yeah. Let's hope that someone can get through to him, because someone's got to get through to him. And if they do, we could turn a corner still.
I mean, he watches us every show and never listens to Nick, so it's quite interesting.
I've got no idea why. I've got me level 2, my FA badge. You should do,
exactly. Really. Abysmal today. 3 games, 3 losses. When it goes wrong, it's all about results and performances. No goals scored. Got to change personnel. Totally agree. Soucek is a passenger. Soufel is challenging Cresswell for worst fullback at the club.
Yeah.
Well, Soufel's probably out for a few weeks now. He looked quite badly injured, as we said.
That would not have been good.
No, unfit or knackered due to Moyes' brutal pre-season after last season's marathon and disappointment. Oh, so he's saying that Moyes put them through too much of a brutal pre-season.
Well, yeah, the players, the same players, are playing over and over again, weren't they? But no,
yeah.
I don't think that's the reason.
I think this is an interesting point of getting Viborg. Viborg is the game to. I know they're not meant to be
to test stuff out. To test stuff out in.
Try stuff in these games, exactly, Gal. Like we did last week with Cornet.
Well, try stuff out that you won't use in the Premier League. Yeah.
Once Scamacca is ready.
It seems that players seem to be tired of Moyes' negative tactics. It seems the front 3 are the only ones allowed in the final third.
Yeah.
I mean, Scamacca was tracking back to he was inside his own box at one point.
Well, he is a deep lying centre forward. He's like a Harry Kane type, you know.
Yeah.
So he's not a lone striker that's going to play up there and a target man. You know, that ain't his game.
Yeah, no. Would you just say you're Declan Rice, Gary? Now you are Declan Rice. You've got Declan Rice's talent, right? You literally are Declan Rice. And David Moyes comes to you and says, "I'm going to shackle you so that Soucek can go and have some fun up the 18-yard box." Are you not going to have the to say anything to David Moyes at all? In any
oh no,
way?
I would. But I tell you what, as the club captain, he should have the right to say something to David Moyes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to be the linkage between David Moyes and the players.
Yeah. No.
Shouldn't he be expected to say something?
Should
yes.
be.
Yeah, he should be. He probably does to some extent. I think this is a great point from Kent Hammers, and we've probably neglected Brighton to this extent. Brighton are not getting enough credit for beating us. They are a top striker away from being a top 6 club. The big worry today was one pass, and they was on our back 4, Scary. And Kent's absolutely right. That club are run correctly. I think the Amex cost, 90-odd million to build or something ridiculous. Yeah. You know, they sold Cucurella for 60 million. They sold Dan Burns back to Newcastle for 50 million. They sold Ben White for a similar price to Arsenal.
Yeah, what is it like? It's like £100 million that worth of players that they
125.
125.
They've sold their best 3 defenders over the last couple of seasons, and they're still
getting results. They're a well-run club.
The worrying thing today was not one of our 11 today would have got in their starting lineup today after that.
Didn't deserve to get in there.
But that's the beauty of Potter. He does his business quietly, right? He sells Chumbawamba to Chelsea for 50 million, right?
Chumbawamba.
and then he brings in another player for 17 million. He brings in another player for 17 million who just slots into the position, right? He knows what he wants. He gets the business done quickly. He don't care who he has to sell. You know, he's a quality manager, the guy. Quality.
Yeah. So you're warming to Potter all the time, aren't you, Gary?
I really like him.
And look, and he does resemble Chuck Norris as well. And everyone knows you can't beat Chuck Norris, can you?
Yeah.
Soucek's not a bad player overnight. Something went wrong somewhere. Well, we don't know. Irish Tommy, look, he's still watching us. He wants to get back on. Tommy. Only game we won is against Viborg when Moyes was suspended.
Yeah, he can't take credit for that one, can he?
No. Play Kera right back and bring Oggy back in. I suppose he means Viborg, does he?
Yeah.
I was more impressed with Ashby against Viborg and Dynamo Zagreb than I've ever been with Johnson. I'm not so sure with Johnson. I think Johnson's becoming a little bit of a lost spirit because he gets told to play in every position. And today, I don't think he deserves to be on the bench today.
No,
not with Soufal's on the pitch.
I would have played him ahead of Soufal. I would have played him ahead of Soufal. I agree on Ashby though. I think he is basically our best right back.
Yeah,
but he's way down the pecking order in squad seniority, so he's got no chance. He's nowhere near old enough or tall enough to be Moyes' right back. Mark
Noble, the GOAT, says, this probably isn't a real Mark Noble, do we have to start thinking about Moyes' future at the club? Well, we have discussed that. It's always going to be, managers are judged on results, and he said in his interview, live by the sword, die by the sword, basically.
Yeah. Tommy's just won the chat. I'm sorry.
What?
Couple of messages down, John.
Hang on, where?
Hang on.
Graham Potter makes his wife orgasm every time, but she never knows how. I don't get it.
Chuck Norris thing. No.
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch Chuck Norris, mate. I don't.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's true. Look, Danny Welbeck, like under Potter, Danny Welbeck's back to well, playing well anyway. I wouldn't say he's one of his best, but 5 points out of the last 30. It's not looking good, guys, at the moment.
No, it's not at all.
Yeah, but
I'm genuinely worried now, and look, I'm perpetually worried. Look, I've been worried for a little while, about this. But are you now? Are you worried yet, John, or are you not?
No, because look, I'm not going to judge it. Me and you have had a few little debates on WhatsApp, as I've alluded to already. Yeah. Gary's aware.
The best adult site's back on again.
We must be doing well. It's because Danny's on. He's a sex symbol, isn't he?
That's it.
The thing is that the problem for me is that I'm not going to judge the end of last season's results because subconsciously, Europa League, the journey took over, right? Subconsciously, the players, I don't think, really put a shift in the Premier League games, but turned up for the Europa games, towards the end of that campaign. Rightly or wrongly, that's what I think happened, right? So I'm not going to judge it by now. I'm not going to go back to the end of last season. I'm getting a little bit worried with Moyes' lack of flexibility. That's what's worrying me because I don't want him to lose his job. And if he don't change, that's when we're in trouble because I don't know who we're getting, quite honestly.
I think he's at the stage now where he's kind of paralysed. He's worried. You can see he's clearly worried about making mistakes now, whether it be in the transfer window, whether it be on a match day. But do you know something? Indecision is killing him. He's got to try something. He's got
the ability to adapt, but does he have the willingness to adapt right now?
Yeah, this is the problem. He's between a rock and a hard place because he feels safe with what he's doing week after week.
But
he feels completely unsafe with trying something different. And he feels that if he tries something different and it goes wrong, he's going to get the blame. So he's evaluating the two and thinking, I've got more of a chance of what I'm doing every week now coming good than I have trying something new. That's what I think. I think he's just...
but that's not the case because when Scamacca came on today, everyone around me, myself included, were like, oh, brilliant. At least he's going to try something different. And then when he didn't, it was like, what's he doing? What's the point?
Because he didn't try something different. He just
done
like for like.
We would have patted, I don't want to sound condescending, but we would have been more respectful if he would have tried something
if he
different.
Tried it.
I would have at least he tried something different.
I'll tell you what, especially when you're chasing a game and you're losing 1-0, like with like Forest last week, like today, you go two up front and really go for it and give the other team something to think about, right? That's got to be a better way, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I agree. Right, Gary, just before we continue, you're better at begging than me and John. There's 260 odd people watching, so do you want to ask for some likes? Go on.
Hello, all of you 260 people in the chat. Thank you for your comments and contributions tonight. Please be so kind and give us a like to the video. And if you haven't subscribed, please use subscribe to our channel, Claret and Booze.
Very good.
Hit the bell notification icon, etc.
If you ain't subscribed, then don't watch us anymore.
Yeah.
Just scare them. Just scare them.
That's it. You don't want you as an audience if you're not subscribed. Is that?
We get Danny on the plane over. He'll teach us some rules. You know what I mean?
All right, go on, John.
Yeah, this is an interesting point. And then I know Noble wants some family time, but best signing we could make is to get Noble on the first team coaching staff.
Really
that presence in that dressing room, I think, would be massive.
I think Rice needs him.
Probably. He's got no one to look to for advice, and I know he can phone him up and all that if he wants to.
I think Moyes needs him. I think Rice and Moyes need him.
Yeah.
Antonio has been struggling for 10 months. We have a new striker and he sits on the bench. Yes, Antonio's been struggling for goals. He's still our top Premier League goal scorer. I don't care how many games it took him to get there. But what the player needs is he needs a bit of support around him. And for me, play him with Scamacca, especially against Viborg. Give it a bloody go. For God's sake.
The only thing I'll say, Mandy, is in this system that Moyes plays, Antonio probably is more effective than Scamacca. In this system where you're playing with an isolated forward player, because Antonio's more, he runs about more, doesn't he? Yeah. I don't know. What's this?
Yeah, he's not subscribing. He's not going to subscribe to you begging. He said, "Fuck off." Even though I know he watches every week.
I'll tell you what. You know, Moyes is playing dangerous games with Scamacca, because if he's not careful, Scamacca's granddad's going to come down and smash his fucking car up.
He will.
Yeah.
He will.
Yeah.
Well, and so in all seriousness, Gary, if this causes Scamacca to lose his place in the Italy squad,
Ooh,
that could be
horse's head.
Could create
Horse's
some
head
serious fireworks. Yeah, he'll find a horse's head in his bed. Yeah.
Would you? This is an interesting question. Would you rather win the Conference League and get relegated, or fight for relegation and stay in the Prem? Ooh.
Oh God, I don't want either of those really. I mean, if you offer me the FA Cup and get relegated, I might be tempted, but probably still not. Right?
Why not a European trophy?
Yeah, well, because it's a Conference League, I wouldn't take the Conference League and get relegated. No, I wouldn't. No,
it would basically, but getting relegated would set us back 5 years, because we'd lose all of our players.
Yeah, look, we always seem to come back quickly, and I think we would this time as well.
But it'd be another rebuild, though, Gal. I mean,
I know, but I'd take it for an FA Cup.
Want to play in the
controversial discussion. Yeah. Should we sell Rice, as other clubs have sold their unsellable players and gone on to be better?
You know what? I think we've missed the boat of the peak selling price for Rice.
Yeah, I
think he's now coming down in price. And if he carries on playing the way he's playing, it's only going to get lower. And I think that is what other clubs do better than us. Brighton, Southampton, whatever. They sell their assets when they're at peak market value.
Yeah, but we would have gone mental as a fan base if we sold him last season.
Of course we would. Of course we would, but then you need an adult coming out from the club and giving an adult message to the club, not talking to the fans like kids like they always do, right? Southampton and Brighton fans and things like that, they've kind of got used to the fact that this is the way they do business, and they know they're going to get someone else in good, right?
Yeah. So Paul Evans reckons we've got to play two up front, most definitely. Balundi Olsen, Scamacca will be Hallamark too. Tommy says bid from Real Madrid for Rice incoming.
You know, the worry with Rice for me is that it'll take us 4 transfer windows to replace him.
Oh no, it will. I mean,
Victor says Victor reckons Moyes is on borrowed time. You can't spend over £100 million at a club like West Ham and lose games and keep your job. Well, I think the results, the amount you spend is irrelevant. If you're judged on results, it doesn't matter what you spend. You could spend a £5. If you're losing games, you're judged on that where you are in the league.
That's true.
Dougie disagrees with you, Nick, or Gal. Sorry, he's only 23. 2 bad games.
No. I think what we're saying is if he continues in this vein for the entire season, then that could have an impact.
Yeah, one game's not going to
don't take all this negativity that's come out of me tonight on Rice the wrong way. I still think he's the best player at the club and he's fantastic.
100%.
I just want him dearly to come back and be the player that he was.
Well, we basically need what we had last year, and this is what I was saying before, that Rice and Bowen have been carrying this team, and they have been, and it's worrying that Bowen and Rice look dejected now, and it ain't just they look. Rice looks fed up. He looks fed up.
I think I've got to the point now where I agree in terms of Soucek more so than ever. He's hindering Rice. He is hindering Rice now. And maybe I didn't want to admit that at first because I thought Rice was still playing well and still driving forward at times. But and I'm not judging it. It's very quick, 2 games, 3 games in. But Rice looks a little bit pissed off now. He does.
And this is quite funny from Garino actually. It's like we should sell Rice for 200 million and blame Putin for the price hike. Sorry.
Controversial comment from Ken Ammers. If we got relegated, we'll only get 30,000 spectators. The tourists and the Johnny come latelys will be gone. Only diehards will be left. It's the same.
You know what? You know what? I reckon how many fans? I reckon we'd have 40,000 left. I don't think we'd go back down to.
Nude HD have got back in. How did they do it?
Oh, you're joking? I banned them.
Oh,
just Tommy. Every time Tommy makes a comment, look, they just pop up. Look, after Tommy comments, they pop up again.
Yeah.
It's Tommy's side business, I reckon. Hang on.
Yeah.
Where are we?
It's that sexy Irish silky accent, isn't it?
It's like warm butter for your ears.
Like warm butter in your ears, did you say?
Rice needs Downs beside him. I agree about that. Stitched up with the fixtures. Yeah.
Maybe we are forgetting that we do have a ready-built replacement for Rice, if necessary, in the form of a Guerd.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, defensive midfielder in waiting. Ooh. I'd like to see him make a good centre half first.
I'd like to see him make a tackle without breaking his ankle. I mean, that'd be good first. If we can do that.
No.
Right. Are we gonna close?
Yeah, we're gonna close it. It's a school night, isn't it?
No, it's the summer holidays, but it's a working day tomorrow.
It's a working day tomorrow.
Well, you work from home. You two work from home. So
I don't. I'm in the office tomorrow.
Long way to my shed, John.
I'm in the office tomorrow.
I'm in the office. Go on, Gary. Go on, close up. Go on.
Yeah, thank you all for joining. All you lovely people in the comments, and thanks to all the guests that have joined tonight. Thank you, John, Nick, and Danny especially, of course. And, welcome back, Danny. It's been ages.
Yeah, it has been.
It's so good to see you guys again. I miss you guys. I miss being over there and losing my voice, and not that I wasn't close to losing my voice this morning, all the obscenities I was shouting at my TV, but it's just great to talk to you guys again.
It's brilliant.
It's been good.
End of a very, very miserable day, but I hope we've cheered you up a little bit. So until next time, see you soon, and come on, you irons.
Yeah, you irons.
Bye, Nude HD.